Jidak, what up?
Yo, Ski.
We back at it.
Yeah, man.
Jock, it's so much going on in hip hop, man. And you the perfect person to talk to about it.
Feels good to know that you feel that way.
It feels good to know that your opinion matters.
Yes, it does.
Everybody wants to hear from Jock these days.
Oh, this man here.
Truth is truth, brother.
I think what it is I be having a different angle on how I see things.
Okay, well, let's start here then.
Mm-hmm.
New York podcaster, Taxstone. Familiar with that name?
Yeah.
Just found guilty yesterday of manslaughter, assault in the first degree, assault in the second degree, and 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon. Facing up to 25 years in prison. Already did 6. You know, he was looking at murder and attempted murder, and he was found not guilty of both of them charges. What's your thoughts on this?
You know, I don't really be wanting to get into too much of that because it's active as we speak. I be knowing people on both sides of the tracks, and I just think it's unfortunate that the cycle has to keep repeating itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no matter what the outcome is, there's always an outcome. You know what I'm saying? For one, a man lost his life. Troy, security guard, 33 years old. Man's lost his life. You know what I'm saying? Troy shot, Taxstone sitting here, possibly could do, you know, whatever above that 6 that he's already done. Who knows? I'm not a judge. I'm not the jury, nor am I an attorney. But I will say this. There's always an outcome, and it keeps being the same outcome. It just depends on which side of the outcome you land on. You know what I'm saying? So I've reported the story a few times, and, you know, I just think it's unfortunate all the way around. The whole scope of it, just period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the politics of it all, I don't really want to get into all that. You know what I mean? But I do think that we got to figure out a way to end this narrative, man. Because stuff be senseless sometimes. It's just emotions run high. At the moment, you know, it's like common sense is out the window because at that moment it's eye for an eye, it's fin for me. And, you know, that's how it goes. And when everybody's taking that approach to anything in an altercation, again, there will always be an outcome. Just not to say too much on it, you know what I'm saying? Still very fresh. Oh, boy, it's fresh.
Nah, it is. I mean, it's unfortunate, man, because this world of hip hop, man, it's dangerous. I mean, you got, you know, it's one thing for dudes who are fans of the cultures or dudes who are still in the hood and they looking at rappers who are getting all this money as food, right? But that's not the case between these two. Both of these brothers was getting money. Both of them was doing their thing respectively, and they had beef. And it all came to a head. Now you got, you know, in Tax case, he's a executive, he's a professional, he's a businessman, and Troy, he's all of the above and rapper. And these two are going at it, fighting to the death. And it's like, at what point does this end, number one? And then number two, you know, Troy took the stand against Tax, and it leads to a question like, especially in hip hop, what is considered snitching? You know, Troy's man, Banger, was killed. Like legit, he is no longer here.
Right.
And there's people who are condemning him for taking a stand, you know, to tell what happened. Obviously, he was shooting, and some of his time was reduced for taking a stand, but it's a weird situation everybody's in.
It ain't weird. Something is weird when you don't know it. It's weird. It's like, weird is like weird is like a scrutinized version of ignorant. It's like, it's weird because you don't know it. It's weird. You know, ignorance is the lack of knowledge of something, right? So we know this. We know this every day. People, our culture, we stand on the wrong morals a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? We are willing to condemn. We are willing to hurt, kill, remove, extract a snitch, right?
Yep.
But why don't we and we'll stand on that shit. I mean, wholeheartedly in front of the church, stand in front of the God about no snitching. But we'll not take that same energy and stand on the morals of not killing each other, not crossing, double crossing, or triple crossing each other. See, that's why I be having a problem, man. That's why I be like, hold on, wait a minute, time out. Wait. Y'all want me to ride for this narrative, but y'all like y'all scared to ride for this narrative? Wait. Time out. It's almost like saying, on one end, oh, you got to take a bath, but on the other end, you don't care if a motherfucker put on dirty clothes. You kind of get the analogy? Like, you can't stand on no snitching, but don't turn around and stand on don't kill thy neighbor. I'm just saying, it's just a little food for thought. I ain't gonna get too heavy on it because I understand why we don't understand it. You know, so I think a lot of us are distracted. And there are great ploys and tactics used to distract us. And it happens every day, all day. I see it. I get distracted sometimes. I'm human. Let's be for real. I'm not sitting here trying to play like I am this extraordinary civilian. Nah, man, I'm human. And I myself get distracted. But it takes a certain level of self-governing and self-awareness to say, hey, let's recalibrate. Let's realign. Let's get back to your focus. You know, so a lot of us don't know how to focus because we don't know what to focus on. We're focused on the distraction. Can you imagine being focused on a distraction your whole life? And some people, we're distracted for so long that we're chasing the distraction and there's never a focus, a real focal point for us to focus on because we everything that distracts us, we're pleased by it. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. Let's just look at it. Right now, a kid, these kids who just got convicted of XXXtentacion's murder, they got $15,000 apiece. What? That's a distraction. You mean you tell me a distraction is $15,000 in your hand is worth your life, your freedom? Not even just yours. This young man who y'all took out is worth that? He was distracted. He was caught up. He was worried. He was concerned with the money and not concerned with your life or that person's life. Because if things would have been different, what if he'd pulled out that and they turned around and lost their life? You know what I'm saying? So somewhere in there, we got to just understand that we're way too distracted every day, all day.
You know, that's so well said on your part. And this is why your perspective is so welcomed in the world of hip hop. Like, who knew Jock had all this wisdom in him? Like, every time you do an interview, every time you sit down and share your thoughts, it becomes abundantly clear that you are so much more than just the entertainment side that the world has come to know you as. Very, very great perspective. And it's, you know, even before we move, because I want to get a little deeper into that XXXtentacion, the 3 men who were convicted. But you were talking about distractions, and you're so right, man. Like, I don't even see, and this is just me. I don't claim to be nothing more than what I am. But you watching your friend, your brother, get killed, like literally die in your arms, and you are ashamed, and your career is actually put in jeopardy because you take the stand, and say this is what happened. I remember years ago with T.I, he was in the same similar situation, if you remember. I believe they was on a tour bus, and his one of the people in his entourage was murdered. And
yeah, it happened in his van.
Yeah, this is family. Like I'm not supposed to give my version.
Like, I don't understand how, honestly, I don't understand how someone I just feel like sometimes the whole concept of no snitching, people don't understand the parameters of when you're like, where's the in it? Right now, if one of my family members or somebody in my care, under my umbrella, under my family tree, is murdered senselessly, I see you, but the police catch you. So, you got to ask the streets, am I supposed to say, no, that's not him? So he walks. And when he walks, what's going to happen? Either I or someone affiliated with me is going to go retaliate, seeking vengeance for that person we lost. Now, if you go and kill him, now he dies, and then another one of ours is locked away or possibly killed trying to kill him. When if the police already got him, it's his crime, and I can actually serve justice to the people on my side. You can't. That's not snitching. That's not snitching. People say taking a stand, oh, you don't supposed to affiliate no kind of way. What ungoverned society are you living in? The average person who talking like that probably don't even got a bank account. The average person like that probably don't pay taxes. Let's be for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's a certain level of, there's a certain disconnect there when you just think about, what do you mean? This is man's best friend. This man doing what they supposed to do. He's living out his dreams, his career. This shit happened. It happened. I was there. It happened. None of it was Tip's fault. You know what I'm saying? I watched that shit happen. I watched the whole shit jump off, from the misunderstanding on stage to homie gesturing, doing what he doing at Tip them when it was uncalled for. I watched all that. I watched it escalate into a fight. I watched it escalate to everybody leaving out the club, jumping in the vehicles, taking off. So you cannot expect someone to take the stand seeking justice for their loved one. Now, it's different if y'all into some street shit and shit going on, right? Oh, this way it get different. And let me know if it get different. I'm doing some street shit. You doing some street shit. Shit go wrong. And then boom, now we're in a shootout and people die. Okay, at that point, you're not supposed to say nothing. That's how the streets gonna look at it. They're like, yeah, because you put yourself in that. And then the streets gonna say, y'all supposed to handle that outside this place of justice, which puts us back in these lawless streets. And now innocent people die because of these retaliations that gotta happen only in the streets because they can't happen in the court of law. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so just, if you look at the dynamics of it, that's why it comes right back to our hood, right back to where we lay our heads, right back to where our mothers birthed us, right back to where our grandparents owned land when it was hard for us to even obtain land, you know what I'm saying, to even be considered as a 100% citizen or man. You gotta get what I'm saying? Like some of this, some of the if you just actually could sit down and do a course on snitching with the hood and ask them why some of these guidelines and bylaws of the street code, why are they there? Some of these people cannot tell you that because they don't know. That's why so many end up snitching, because they don't know what they're doing is considered snitching. You kind of get what I'm saying? Yep. Somebody say, what you mean I'm supposed to take this? I don't, just even talking to the police, just talking to them is like snitching. Oh. So the police come ask me some questions about something going on, an open or pending investigation. The minute I speak on it, I'm snitching. Somebody will say, no, not exactly. There's some people in the streets going to be like, exactly. You're supposed to say, I don't know nothing. So I'm supposed to continue to say, I don't know nothing as my communities, my neighborhoods are constantly being destroyed. Every time I turn on the news, it's an older woman or somebody standing in their house and the news crew is filming their wall with bullet holes going through them from stray bullets or a shootout, a drive-by. Like, I don't know. So I'm very touchy these days. I'm a little sensitive about a lot of it because I have to report it every day. We see it every day. It's amongst us every day, bro. But nobody's really coming with a solution. Everybody's trying, every new cat that come out, who the new gangster, who the new hood star, he's still perpetuating this whole scheme of how it's supposed to work. But why is it not working? Why is this shit not working yet? The way the hood is structured and set up with us, why don't more of us make it out the hood empowered enough to reach back and pull more out the hood and empower them enough to perpetuate that cycle? Why is it more of us becoming pallbearers? Why is it more and more of us becoming people that's coming down and visit you in prison? Because I don't see the salute. Is the salute only when we popping bottles in the club? Is the salute, is the celebration only for the gram? Where's the true celebration when I sit down with my kids and you sit down with your kids and our families and we kick back and we out the country somewhere having a Thanksgiving somewhere else, or just doing it for the hell of it because we've dedicated time to our family. We've dedicated ourselves to providing a better way of life for our families. Like where did that part come in at? I'm waiting on that. Because everybody wants to perpetuate this whole way the hood's supposed to work. And it seems like the only way cats is really making it out the hood is if they rapping or playing sports. Or if somebody killing them, taking them out the hood. Or if the law snatching them up, taking them out the hood. What's really getting us out the hood? And I'm not saying there aren't other ways, because I know a lot of successful people who went the route of the so-called American dream. College, go on and live a life with a career and possibly have a salary. And that don't work for everybody though. But that works. It does work. I know a lot of successful people who went that route. But the more popular, the more commercialized route is trying to be a street boss. Trying to be the boss of the bosses. Trying to be that, like, come on, man. Like, we're gonna keep passing off a bad play. We're gonna keep, just imagine a team. If we was a team, if the streets was a team right now, and we had a record right now, how many wins versus losses and vice versa would we really have?
Damn.
We're gonna keep coming back to the huddle with the same dumbass plays. After a while, somebody's supposed to say, hey, take it up. Hit the Wilson, look here, man. This way ain't really looking effective, guys. I think we got to take another approach because these routes we keep taking, it's taking us out. I want to get us to the field goal, to the end zone, to the promised land. And a lot of us just don't really want to hear a different way, because if the way that we've been taught is kind of working here and there, but not really, if that ain't really as bad as people think, because it's just what we know, then I may not be willing to try this new way that you can't show me the stats on. Even though when I show you this way of the hood, it's really bad stats, but at least it's enough information that show that a lot of people believe in this way. And that's why a lot of people follow the same dumbass pathway, the same route, and we keep ending up back at square one.
Very profound words, real talk. And damn great analogy with running that same play.
We keep running the same play.
Yeah, wow. Yo, you know, you touched on the XXXtentacion trial that just came to an end.
Mm-hmm.
I want to dig deeper into that for a second. 3 men found guilty, first-degree murder in the state of Florida. You might as well say goodbye to them. Their families might as well get used to them not being around, because in the state of Florida, they are not coming home. That's number one. Number two, there was a 4th gentleman, a friend of theirs, who, and this is the craziest part of this. Number one, and we can go down this road if you want. You know, so he turned states, pointed the fingers at his 3 co-defendants, which helped the state get these convictions. But the crazy thing is, the 4th guy who turned states, he actually said that when he was surveilling XXX in that store, he saw the cameras, went back outside and told them, yo, I don't think we should do this because I just looked into a camera. So they still went ahead with this thing knowing they was on camera. And then he turned around and point all 3 of them out, you know, from sitting in that box chair.
So,
and to your point, I guess where I'm going with this is, I would assume this is snitching. This is the truest definition of snitching, what this young man did. And one more thing that you said, they all, I mean, in total it was $50,000. Was your life worth $50,000?
It was. So here's the interesting part. I see a play. I'm gonna call them play. Here's a play. It ain't gonna work, y'all. It's gonna backfire, gonna land all us in prison, possibly. We might get smoked in the process, or we might smoke him in the process. Let's not do this play. And if I tell you, let's not do it, and I walk away and y'all commit to it, you can't bring me into that if you get caught. Y'all can't bring me into that. I said no, and I walked away. But when you bring him into it, what is he supposed to say? Nothing? And just go down with him? Or say the part he said, yo, I was going to do this. But I saw the cameras, I looked right in the camera, and I said, I don't want to do this. I don't think we should do this. Let's not do it. And they did it anyway. Because if you take a poll on this, that shit gonna be all over the place. Everybody gonna have this theory and why this and that. And at the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. We keep taking these same chances and these same plays. Them plays ain't getting you up. They ain't getting nobody up. Ain't nobody coming up off these plays. Not for real. You run these missions, these drills, whatever you want to call them, spinning the block, all this shit. Boy, the outcome just makes your outcome even worse. It's a cycle. You keep seeing the shit. But yeah, in a sense, they gonna call him a snitch because at the end of the day, you was a part of the initial operation to go in and rob this young man. So now it happened, whether you wanted it to or not. What about your involvement of getting them to the point of no return? Your involvement was you gonna go in and make sure that they can do this and get away with it. The fact that you went in and came out, they went ahead and did it because they just thought he was scared. Mm-hmm. He's scared. Mm-hmm. We good. We're gonna get away. They had to believe that. Think about it. That means they totally did not believe him. Hey, no. They got caught. They on camera. They got caught. What he said was, let's not do this because I'm over with. What if he just said, hey man, we don't need to do this. Cause I looked in the camera. If y'all go in there and do this, I'm gonna go and tell the police on y'all. He couldn't say that right now. They probably would have killed him. Or right after the shit happened. But I digress. I'm gonna come off of that. I just see it happening every day. It's just a different person, or different people in different spaces. But the same plays keep getting ran.
You know, before we switch topics, I'm going to tell you something. Be it as it may, these are still young Black brothers. And it's like, my God, how, and I use this word, and I don't even use it in a derogatory way, but how stupid can you be? The man told you on camera, we gonna get caught. Just walk. Just walk. And it happens every day. Like, what can you do in 2023 that ain't gonna be on camera? That's number one. So you should always assume somebody got a phone.
Something is
correct.
Watching.
Something's watching. So that's number one. But when you know, it's conclusive now. Like I just looked in the camera. So if anything go down, they got my face looking in this camera straight away.
Now guess
and you
what?
still do it?
Now guess what? Sometimes the streets is interesting. The streets will listen to somebody who took the savage route faster than somebody who took a scholastic route. Because in their mind, that person is tried and true to the realest form of life. If you've been through some shit that could take you out of here and you still here, you conquered that, you beat that, you got your stripe. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
So sometimes when these kids thinking about doing that time, to some of them, they just earning stripes. Because some of them be thinking, man, such and such gone forever. And then that certain person be back home in 5-6 years. Like, damn, bro got off a murder with that. Bro got off the little robbery charge. Then he ain't snitched. Well, you don't know he snitched, but somewhere he might have snitched to get less in his time. Or maybe it wasn't as heavy. It wasn't a capital murder. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was a second degree or it was a manslaughter, but people not looking at that, and people don't be looking at the idea that every case ain't gonna play out the same. Yes, these are kids, but like the old people used to say, my teacher used to tell me, some people don't believe fat meat greasy.
There you go.
Till they slip. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just how life goes. Think about it. The person who dies today, before he dies, does he fully understand that he's about to die before he dies in his attempt to do whatever it is he's about to attempt to do? Does he know he's gonna die? And when he die, does he knows he's dead? Does he know he's dead? We can't answer that. Because if you ain't never been there, you can't tell the teller how it happened. Mm-hmm. So if we could bring back half of these people who've died to really tell the world what's going on, even though we see their death, we see them expire, we see the funeral, we see the wake, we see the eulogy and all of that, but they never really could tell you about it once they gone. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And a lot of times I just think that people don't believe it till they cross over. You don't believe the shit real until it's really happening, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can see it happen all day, but these young boys who we talking about, they ain't looking at it like that. They trying to come up because they are distracted. They want to live this pretentious lifestyle that's out here. It looks way better than just being in the hood. It looks way better than being broke. It looks way better than them than clocking in, making an honest living. It just looks better. It feels better. It makes them feel accomplished. It makes them feel like they beat the stereotypes. It makes them feel like they defied, all the constraints. It just make them feel like I want this lifestyle, and the faster I can get there to it, the faster my life will be better. So they speedballing to get there, and they ain't thinking about the consequences, because in their mind, it's not gonna happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. In their mind, it ain't gonna happen to them, but 90% of them, maybe 95% of them, it happens to them. At some point, I would rather learn from somebody else's mistake. Like, at some point, I wish they wake up and say, yo, you know what? I don't even need to go down this road, because I know how it is.
But everything that's being poured into them, everything that's being poured into our children is almost the opposite of what we want them to do and be. I'm gonna keep it a book. You can send your child to school and sit there in front of teachers they're not interested in learning from. So 50% of the things that is the curriculum that is being taught, they're not learning it. They're not holding on to it. They're not absorbing it. It's not adhering, because it's somebody more popular and more real and more sauced up and got a way bigger bag that's teaching them something totally different. And the stuff they teaching them, it looks more like what's going on around them. It looks more like the truth to them than what a teacher's teaching them. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course I do.
It comes with emotion. The emotion of the music, the soundtrack. Just think of the soundtrack. You know what I'm saying? It comes with that when you hear it. It comes with the descriptive pictures, the descriptive bullet points of what to do, what not to do, descriptive bullet points on how you supposed to look, how you supposed to treat a hoe, how you supposed to count your money, how you supposed to spin the block and treat a op. You know what I'm saying? It's all this how-to. It's a manual. You think about it. You hop in the car with somebody, like, what's this? Oh, it's my audio book. I'm listening to this new book, The Secret. I'm listening to 50 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power, the audio book, right? They're taking that in to learn, to meditate, to absorb. The stuff that we're hearing in this music, that's what we absorb, and that's what our kids are absorbing. And it's not telling you how to get ahead. It's telling you how to do everything to hold you back, hold the community back, try to get it illegally, try to get it finessing, try to get it out the mud. When a lot of times, if we could take this music and really give them a cleaner approach to how to get it and how not to, you don't have to be cutthroat to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? To the ladies, maybe just to stand next to me and be with a boss, you ain't gotta suck me in the whole crew dick. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta, me and my whole crew gotta slut you and your whole crew out just to ride on Forgiatos. Like I get it. If, I understand. I come from this world, I get it. But this can't be the rule book. This can't be the only playbook that our youth is being subjected to, because they taking it literally and they living it out. When you like, hey man, when we was saying it back then, you gotta think, when my era was coming up, it was the trappers, right? Then after the trappers, the pill poppers and the cats who want to use the drugs. Like, that's the fun. We popping Molly, we popping perks, and we sipping this and sipping drink and all that. And then the generation who own that, they been on that for so long, so they would whatever. And the next generation talking about kill, destroy, spin the block, ops. Hey man, what you think the next generation gonna be after this?
I want to switch topics with you, because it falls kind of in line with everything we talking about right now. I'm sure you've seen it like everybody else. Probably arguably one of the most famous snitchers of this generation, Tekashi 6ix9ine, caught on camera getting beat up in a Florida LA fitness gym by dudes who wanted the world to know. Actually, they beat him up, but they wanted the clout, and they wanted the world to know we did it, and we don't mess with snitches down here. What is your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that, it appears he's gotten away long enough. If everybody's got to stand on the snitch's neck, you know what I'm saying? We're going to stand on the snitch's neck. Somebody had to come out and give it to him. And if it took 3 years for it to happen, it sounds like he's got a pretty good good numbers to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, if, you know, when you start talking that real street beef, you know, you can be out 3 hours and get smoked. You know what I'm saying? He ain't dead. So he should be happy about that. And at the end of the day, you know, it's interesting, man. You know, I ask myself, would he be going through all this if he wasn't so, you know, if he wasn't so braggadocious about that situation, or if he hadn't been so obnoxious about it? You know what I'm saying? Would people hate him as much? You know what I'm trying to say? Because he could have bowed out. He could have said what he said, kept doing his music and went on. But the basis, the dynamics of his music is to say what's on your heart. And if what's on his heart is to say, then it puts him back in that space to like, hey, who want a fair shot? I'm out here, no security. Why is he anywhere with no security when he's ruffled so many feathers? You know what I'm saying? That's what it say to me is, you're human and you're not 100% untouchable. That's just what it is.
You know, the crazy thing is, his whole career was predicated on being a troll, on clout chasing. Everything about his career was about clout. And it's so interesting that when he finally got touched, he got touched by dudes. Obviously, they didn't like snitches. But more important, they was doing it for the clout, because they got like 3-4 different angles of this man getting whipped out.
Yeah, the latest one I just saw, well, you can see him when they see the one that been floating around when he get kicked in the ribs and they kick him over.
Yeah.
It's another one. Because, you know, people that start saying, oh, it's fake. He pulling the Justice Smollett. You know, it ain't real. He got an album coming out in 2 weeks. He want people to feel sorry for him. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Them people whooping that boy ass real good. Real good. I don't know, man. It just made me want to ask him, like, why was you there without security, knowing you've aggravated so many?
Nah, man. Listen, what goes around gonna come around. He been chasing clout for years.
He finally got it from that angle.
Yeah, from that angle. It's as simple as that. So, to your point, the man is still alive. And before we switch topics, here's the craziest thing about him.
Now I just hope he don't come with that little TikTok shit.
I'm sure he is. Nah, I'm sure he is, because he don't know no different.
He might not. I hope he don't. I don't think he will. Then he might. I don't know. We'll see.
Here's the deal. What he don't realize is he could benefit so many people if he just matured and took a different route. Still going down the same path, flirting with death, beefing with everybody. It's hard to feel anywhere near close to the vicinity of being sorry for this man, because every ounce of it, he didn't bring it on himself from old stuff, but he continues. It's like, at what point do you learn? What point do you grow up and mature? And how much could you do by taking a different route and showing the youth, yo, I used to be a knucklehead just like y'all, and this is what it got me. And there's a better way to do it. So here's what it is. Speaking of clout chasing, and I don't even know how else to or what other category to put this in, but your man Jay Morant goes on live, flashing a gun, suspended for 8 games, came back the other night to a standing ovation. What do you make of, you're a multimillionaire, bro. It's women and kids in your family, your mama depending on you. And you got a multi-million-dollar contract. What do you think the need is for so many of these young dudes who made it to quote unquote keep it real?
How old is Ja?
I think he's like 23, 22, 23.
He's a very, very young man. He's very young, man. I talk about it. I've had to report on him a lot of times. And, you know, I'm proud to see the young man reach the levels that he's reached thus far. I believe he has the capabilities to go even further and higher. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't like seeing him put himself in the bad light. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your face as clean as you can, man. Because you just, you know, it's a lot of people that had them super successful stories as a baller or as a whatever, and something happens and you look up one day and they no longer have nothing. And I'm not saying wishing this on him, not saying this gonna happen to him. I'm just saying it happens. And somewhere in there, man, he's gotta govern himself a little better, man. You know what I'm saying? The type of money he missed, what was that? Powerade, allegedly, Coke cutting ties with him and that. Allegedly. Then they say he was gonna lose somewhere around $30-some million. I don't know if that was in this time span of these 8 games. Cause I'm gonna keep it a buck. If you making that kind of money in 8 games, he shouldn't want nothing to do with nothing that's gonna take that type of blessing away.
Oh my goodness.
Cause that's a hell of a tech. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I just feel like his name keeps coming up in certain things that continues to just kind of put that little dark shadow over him. And some people stand up for him and say, hey man, the young brother ain't did nothing. We was all young, you know. And I've heard people chime in on his behalf. And then somewhere I've chimed in on his behalf too. But somewhere there you gotta know, hey boy, you can't be just showing no strap in no public place or wherever you at. It's like, why? Why connect yourself to anything that's gonna cast a negative shadow or doubt on your brand? You gotta know that, you know. So whoever's on this team, then let's just think about it like this. I'm pretty sure people around here are telling him the right from the wrong, right?
Yep.
But it's hard for you to tell me if I got almost $300 million and you don't even have $1 million, it's hard for you to tell me anything. That could be the mindset. Like, y'all hear you, I'm good, we good. I got enough money to fix anything. I ain't killed nobody. I'm just having my little way. I'm feeling like a little hood baby right now. I got the hood feeling good, you know. I'm representing for the streets. Whether I'm from the streets or not, we look alike. I know the life. My parents kept me out the streets, but I got love for the streets, and I want to show the streets they got somebody in here represent for them. Maybe that's what he wants out of it. I don't know.
Okay. Yo,
serious, man.
All that sound
but
good.
I'm saying you can't fathom it because here you are, 40-plus-year-old man.
Correct.
Likewise. So when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like, okay, at my age, how much longer can I be ripping and running these streets to get the bag that I need to sustain this lifestyle? Considering as the future gets closer and nears and we progress, it's gonna get even more expensive out here, which means you're gonna either have to work harder or you're gonna have to get bigger bags doing less. You ain't thinking like that when you 20. He young. He like, man, I got this bag, this guaranteed money. I already done put money aside. I can go to any team I want to. I'm balling. Like, I ain't worried about y'all, man. I'm just having my fun and showing love to the hood. But everybody on the outside like, but we see you headed down the wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're about to crash out. He might not feel like it's that serious. Them 8 games might have woke him up a little bit like, hey, somebody done reached out to him. Hopefully a Michael Jordan or LeBron, somebody big. I mean, it's a lot of big cats who have spoken out. I'm pretty sure somebody gonna reach out to him and just tell him, little bro, you gotta chill out, man. You on fire, you doing good. Keep your name clean, man. Keep your name clean. Keep it clean, you know? Don't make it harder for the next young brother that look like you. Keep it clean.
I hope I'm gonna keep it 100. I really do hope one of the older statesmen in the NBA reaches out to him. I hope one of the elder statesmen in the streets reaches out to him. And if they don't tell that young brother nothing else, but you got enough money to buy whatever you want, that same money you can put toward everybody else holding them things for you. You don't have to be the one with it. You sitting around flashing guns on live? My brother, if it's that important to you to have them guns that close, hire some legal armed security to hold them things for you, because you don't need to touch them. But here's what it is.
Gotta abide by the code of ethics, man.
Oh my goodness.
Especially when they're attached to $100, $200 million contracts.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that guy, young, in his prime, actually, he probably hasn't even reached his prime. And he's killing it. Starve his team.
A baby.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He my son age, bro.
I wish him the best, real talk.
Should I wish my son had a bad like that? Shit.
Yo, it's so much going on in this damn legal system. Since the last time you've been here, Kodak Black, one of the most talented young rappers out there. The brother just can't. I mean, I love Kodak music, to keep it 100, but he can't keep himself out of trouble.
Yeah.
As you know, the brother, you know, he on probation or something, and he was found with fentanyl in his system. He tested positive. His lawyer tried to argue that, the people who tested him, they probably got them swabs mixed up. So the judge come back and is like, okay, well, give me a lock of his hair, and we gonna just test his hair. And they're like, whoa. You know, maybe we can come up with a different alternative. And he was ordered to check into rehab. At what point, man, do any of the, like what point do people just learn?
Let's be for real. You know, the first time something didn't go right for you, let's not act as if that lesson taught you never do it again.
That's real, Jock.
You know, we've done some things, like just even think of hustling. You're a hustler, right?
Yep.
As a hustler, let's not even point out anything that's just bad or wrong. Let's just say it's not making your situation better. Every time you do this, you notice you don't make as much money. How many times did it take you to realize that every time I do this, it messes up my money? Sometimes it take a hustler a long time. Because think about the hustlers people who have, let's just say, people who have habits. okay? You could be the best, this, that, this in the world, but this habit, you realize that this habit takes you out, you know? I know homies, they'll tell you, man, I have so much more, man, but I just love cocaine. Okay. And I'm cool with that. Okay. Got homies, man, I can have this much money, but I love women. I was guilty of that at one point in my life. Like, it's like I wasn't able to see as clear as I thought I was seeing, and I didn't realize how much time and energy and focus I was dedicating to the wrong thing, to the wrong plot. So it's like self-sabotage. And, you know, no one wants to call it self-sabotage, but anytime you're doing something that goes against your greater progression, that's a self-sabotage. We do it all the time. Now, in Kodak's case, you know, let's say he wasn't doing as much drugs as he was doing at one time. But he's made progress, so he's doing way less, and he's been mindful of his health, and he's aware that he could have to stand in front of these police one day. Well, in his mind and the people around him might feel like, well, at least bro ain't going crazy on no more. He had a little bit here and there. We ain't know these people were gonna come try to piss him. They did. That's what we got that bad for. Attorney shook him. Little probation. Slap on the wrist, back in the world. So even that right there make it hard to learn, you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just look at how many overdoses we've seen in the last 5 years in the hip hop community. You know, I'm scared to take anything.
Yo, did you hear your man Boosie? Boosie was like, yo, people need to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack.
Yo.
He was like, yo, there's too many people dying with this fentanyl.
But
you see them crackheads still walking around since the 80s.
But you actually made an interesting statement. You told people to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack.
Crack. I'm promoting it.
You're promoting crack.
Fuck that. Fentanyl killing all the junkies who been junkies. I'm talking, it's killing the junkies who been junkies for forever.
Yes.
Soon as they hit it, they dead.
Right.
Crackhead, this nigga shoot threes, this nigga shoot basketball, this nigga run 100 miles, this nigga get sane, this nigga fix your car motor, been doing this for 20 years. This motherfucker still running around the neighborhood. When have you ever heard crackheads hitting the pipe and dying the first time?
Never.
Never. This fentanyl shit is different. I would much rather crack.
You never really, if a crackhead overdose, it's because somebody done put something in the dope. Something just as extreme as a fentanyl. Or they done cooked them up some bad dope with some poison. Something that is manufactured to be poisonous, to kill. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's saying, I don't want nobody to do none of that shit, you know what I mean? But people got their vices, man, you know what I'm saying? You got these cats and you know, some cats, they want the perkies because they smash better on the perkies. The women like the perkies too. It get them now, you know? And they vibe, they get the vibe and everything feel like, Some people like that. Some people want the powder. Some people want the X.
It ain't enough money in the world. I mean, in 2023, playing that game of Russian roulette, getting them joints off the street, and you don't know where it was made. Some jungle in Colombia somewhere.
Man, jungle in Colombia? Jungle in Colombia? Why you talking about? You talking about somebody goddamn kitchen up the street? These folks make it, man. Let me tell you something, man.
Bootleg chemist.
Man.
Tell
me what you want. I know somebody can mix it right now.
Crazy.
Tell me what you want. What you want. It's people out here can mix it right now and make it. And give you, if not 80% of the it you looking for, they would definitely get you closest to what you think you got. It's real, man. It's real, bro. It's real.
It's not enough of a high in the world.
Man, these folks out here
to
pressing
take that
pills.
chance.
No, I get it. I understand. It's your thing. It's recreation. It's a social thing. It's a I got to have because it's what keep me in my. I understand all that, but I'm just not trusting of nothing and nobody to just be buying it off of no street and taking it.
Yeah,
no,
I agree with you. I agree with you. Ain't nowhere in the world it's worth your life, and a micro fragment of fentanyl can kill you. Like, are you crazy? But is what it is. Let's switch topics for a second.
I did.
I want to get your take on this, and I get the sense that you actually going to agree with this. Slim Thug, he put up a post the other day, and he actually showed the tags of the T-shirt he was wearing and the shorts he had on. He was like, yo, the reason I'm still rich, the reason I still got the bag, is because I don't spend no money on these clothes. My T-shirt cost something like $12.99 or $5.99, whatever it was. And my shorts, super cheap. And y'all think I still got money, or y'all think I'm wearing this designer stuff because I'll come in the club with $1 million worth of jewelry, but I ain't spending money on all them designer labels. Sound like the man done figured it out, and a lot of people need to listen to him.
Well, let's be for real, man. I mean, have you been inside of Saks Fifth? Have you been inside of Neiman's?
Absolutely.
Like, how long you think your money gonna last if every day you step out, you got a $2,000-$3,000 outfit on? And then think about it. Most of the clothes you got, it's not like you go and sell them for consignment after you wear them. You get your wear out of them. Somebody end up wearing your shit. Some shit get tore up. Some shit get stained. Some shit, just whatever. So you just putting your money in something to feel like you put, it's like we take the money, it's like, okay, we take our time, right? And our thought process to figure out how to make this money, right? No matter how you make this money, but you take your time, your effort, and you put forth effort to make this money. Then you take this money, right, and give it to somebody. I'm gonna take the actual thing that I'm working for, the thing that could get me anything that I think I want, the money, the it. I take the money and I give it to somebody else in exchange for goods that say I got the money that I gave them. So it's like the shit we wearing is a receipt. It's a receipt to say I spent the money because I'm wearing this. This is a receipt. The transfer of power, it is wrong. We got it all wrong. We have transferred the power to the person who sold us this brand. This brand is just a receipt. This brand is not a legal tender. I can't take this brand, this receipt that I'm wearing, and go and get my money back out of it. I can't. Even if I take it and once it's no longer considered brand new off of the hanger, off of the rack, even if I go sell it consignment, I got to sell it marked down. It's just a receipt. Like you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
We work hard to get the money just to give it away to say we got. Oh, I had the money. I had the money. I'm gonna get some more money, but the money that I had to get this, it's gone. It serves me no purpose no more. I can't do nothing with it. Can't invest it. Can't take care of my kids. It will not provide shelter for me. I have passed on the power to wear this receipt. This article of attire, of clothing, is just a receipt that I had the money. I could afford it. I had the money to get it. That's how I got it. I gave somebody the money. It's gone now, but
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And here's the deal. I mean, you are a rapper first and foremost, so I know you're gonna understand what I'm about to say. What people don't realize, and I know I'm friends, I am friends with extremely successful rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And their jewelry ain't even real. Like they done figured it out. They are walking out with nuggets in their ear, chains on their neck, and if you was to get close enough to snatch it, if you did take it, you couldn't even get nothing for it. But the illusion, but you know that they have the capital. They have the financial means to buy these things, but they are selling an image out there. And truth be told, a lot of their jewelry it's I don't want to call it costume jewelry, but it's fake. It's high end fake.
Some people are wearing the high end fake. Then there's a lot of people who don't want to be called out like that, and they really going and throwing their money away. Well, I ain't gonna say throwing their money away because it's an exchange. It's what they want. You know, I've done it. I'm guilty of it. I'm going to buy the jewelry that I want, and in my mind, in my heart of hearts, it's real. I was told it was real. I was sold a receipt. It was sold with a receipt and papers that say what it is and why it's valued at what it's valued at. You know what I'm saying? And I myself have been in a position to where I could put on the fake too. I have put on the fake. I have been in a situation where I'm like, yo, I left this, I did it, and I done been, yo. I was just at a show. My chain popped in 2 places, one of them. The other one, depending on fit on it, it's not even worth pulling out because this is just a real chill situation. One of the dudes I guess he was friends of the people where I was, the promoter, you know, he was like, hey bro, my shit ain't real, but it look real. Everybody think my shit real. You can wear these more because I could tell you disappointed about your chain. And when I looked at them, they did look real. But I knew they weren't real because I could look at the clasp and tell the clasp. But I still was just like, I don't need that to go on stage. It's comfortable because it's a part of my costume, but I don't need it. But just that fast, somebody else would have been like, yeah, put that shit on. They ain't gonna know. Because if it look good to me, fuck what they think. Because I'm gonna wear it like it's real. So, hey, I just think we gotta be smarter. I always say that. We gotta be smarter.
No, we got to be smarter. You know, people are following the wrong things, and you know, truth be told, I applaud Slim Thug, and I applaud a lot of the artists that many of these kids are looking up to, who are Asian and they're thinking different, and they got different perspective, and they got more wisdom under their belt, and they realize it don't take nothing away from me to spit a whole different type of game, change the narrative, and help the next generation get focused. And for him coming out and saying that, like, I applaud him, real talk.
I mean, yeah, that's somewhere that we just, again, man, to each his own. Let's be for real. It so feel good when you spend that money, man. It feel good when you, see, it depends, because sometimes when you finna spend the money, you're like, but then when you looking at what you getting in return, you like, because you actually been fed that it's worth the value of the money you're giving them.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
You believe it. People believe that. People believe that. We believe it. It's just like diamonds. Right now, every rapper, I give you a perfect example. It's 1 million rappers out here. Every time they get a check, a real rapper, and they get not just a real rapper, just rappers, and they get real money, a check. I don't care if it's an advance check. I don't care if I've been saving this money. I don't care if I hit a lick. You see them go and drop that bag at a jeweler.
Absolutely.
At a jeweler to show the receipt of the money they've made. Because you ain't got the money no more if you got it on. You done got that money gone. It just shows the level of spending or your spending power. It's like you wearing your credit score. Like, if I got this on, you know I'm willing to spend XYZ. It's like, well.
Absolutely. All right, yo, Boosie, bring him back into the conversation.
Boost.
Since the last time you sat in that chair, Boosie, who's a friend to this platform,
Mm-hmm.
he don't ever disappoint. He's gonna say something that's gonna go viral, and he's gonna say something that, in a lot of times, I don't care what y'all think. It's my truth, and I'm just gonna speak it. Him and Vlad sat down, and he said emphatically that the album, the joint album with him and Tip, was done because Tip allegedly snitched on his dead cousin. Now Tip came back and said, look, I made up that story and I got the paperwork to prove it. And more important, him and Boosie supposedly spoke offline and the album is back on. Now, before I throw it over to you, I was talking to Vlad offline. I didn't see it myself, but Vlad told me either Tip put out a tweet or did a news article where he was essentially like, yo, Vlad is part of the problem. He has a divisive platform. So, number one, what's your thoughts on Boosie speaking his truth in regards to I'm not putting that album out? And number two, on Tip, his thoughts on this being a divisive platform.
Okay, let's just keep it a buck. All right. Boosie is who he is because early on in his life, he decided he wanted to be a rapper, right? Boosie was willing to talk about the things in the way he chose to. He was willing to say things that other people might not have had the courage to say, might not have had the prowess to say, might not have had the gall to say. But because he would say it, people got behind him and he became Lil Boosie, living legend Lil Boosie, okay? Whether he was living legend or not, he's got a right to share his thoughts on how he feel. Whether it's about his son, whether it's about his daughter, whether it's about him, whether it's about his cohort and friend T.I. Hey man, that's really their situation. So a lot of people say, nah man, I don't like that. You can't just speak out on me publicly. Okay. Well, what happens if I speak out on you publicly or vice versa and we make amends publicly? Is it still the wrong message? Is it still a bad narrative? Because if we can agree to disagree and don't nobody die in the process, but we have evolved enough to where we understand I'm willing to shift my angle a little bit to possibly be able to perceive your angle a little better or understand you a little better or the overall situation of life and we can coexist, then kudos. So if the album back on and they made amends and they good, awesome. Now you don't want people to think that the idea now is you can just put people on blast in the public eye and then turn around and clean things up in the public eye and that makes it good. But I would rather be able to understand that I'm willing to speak my truth, whether wrong or right, then I'm willing to be a man to accept whether I was wrong or right and make amends with anybody that I have an opposition with or against. And we could move on and coexist. If that's the narrative, if that's what I could pull out of that, then I'm not even mad at all. Because at the end of the day, you'd have thought, damn, Boosie all the way in Atlanta, Tip got shit like he got it. Like, people still love Tip. No, don't think they don't. Let's be for real. And bro, you gonna go again home like that? Okay, y'all made up. Okay, good. Damn. All right, them boys real friends. Oh, I guess that's what real men do. That's what real friends do. sometimes it take a little friction to stir the pot to get people to paying attention to how it forms in the end. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, you see steel workers, think of steel, how hard steel and iron is. And you see them bring that shit when it's hot. They get the end on that shit. Blah, blah. They hit it and put it back in the heat shit up again and hit it again. Blah, bow. And by the time they end, the end results is some beautiful piece of art or some tool that we all need. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at it like that sometimes. Sometimes it's going to take you to heat something up, to add the friction. We got to bang around and bang on it here and there till we get it right. And then when everything cool off and we polish it up, we got the best piece of whatever it is, whether it's art or a tool, whether it's furniture, whatever it is. It took a little heat and a little conflict to get us to this point. It's the end result. I keep telling y'all this. The end result, as long as your end result can come out to be good in a positive way, then the overall situation is a learning lesson and it is deemed as not as bad when you have a better turnout. And that's what we talk about, end results. Vlad, your second part of that question, you was asking me about the platform, right? Now, ask me that question again so I can make sure I hear it clear because I want to answer it clearly.
Okay. Tip, and I got this from Vlad.
Oh, basically said that this is a divisive platform.
Correct.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say you already feel that way. It's a divisive platform because you let people come on here. Then when people get to talking, then it put people against people. But then because I don't fuck with you and I'm holding my nuts on you, then I don't come get on your Vlad. I don't come get on your platform to defend myself. Then it feels one way. And then it feel like we ain't rocking because it's divided. Well, the news is divisive. Sports is divisive. Politics is divisive. Religion, even religion, is divisive. Because it's saints and sinners. Now I can keep going into that, but I don't want to expound on that too far because I don't want Tilt to feel like what he's saying is wrong. In his mind, in his heart of hearts, it could feel that way. A lot of people feel like Vlad the police. Vlad is not making nobody come on here and say or do the things that they doing. Now, don't get me wrong. When Vlad interviews, Vlad kind of navigates his interviews. That's his journalist approach. Now, it's up to you, the person who's being interviewed, it's up to you on how you share information, how you divulge this private info. It's up to you. Now, when you start doing all that, then you got to be held accountable. You can't say it's Vlad. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's just like right now. Man, these police lame as fuck, boy. But the police, boy, this shit set up to take you down. Well, if you already locked up and you talking on the phone, you kind of get what I'm saying? Is it really the police or you just, you talking while people are listening? That's the whole concept of what it is. The platform has leveraged itself to this huge platform and people are listening. So when people talk, it stick more because it's heard by more. So when that Vlad, boy, I heard on Vlad, but you know what they say about Vlad. But, hey man, to each his own. Listen, I ain't involved in no criminal cases. Nobody around me involved in no criminal cases. I don't do criminal shit. So I don't have the same conversation about, when people say Vlad, the police, I don't have that conversation. Saying it's a divisive platform, I mean, damn near every platform you see is gonna have some type of divisiveness. Hell, American Idol, you had winners and losers.
Nah, you're absolutely right, kid. You're absolutely right.
When you talk about our government, you got red and blue. Talk about the streets, it's red and blue. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm
Okay, I saw you on Mav Hoffa.
yeah.
Dope interview, by the way.
Shouts out to Math, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, shouts out to Mav. You think Boosie blowing up, going viral, talking about the album is done, he can't work with Tip, he can't work with nobody who snitches. Him and Tip speaking offline, Tip showing paperwork, and now the album is allegedly back in pocket. All of that's a marketing stunt?
What I said was the way my thought process is set up. You know, it's like when you listening for certain things or you train yourself to hear certain things, it's just like I said, okay, perfect example. People always talk about the 48 laws of power. Oh, you reading that book, you must be a con man, or you trying to be one. No, what I'm gonna use this book is to exercise my thoughts enough to understand when I'm being conned. It's about an awareness. And when you try, it's just like when you talk to your kids. It's like when a man talk to his daughter, he's telling his daughter how to prepare herself for the game that's coming to her. You get what you follow me? It's gonna come. The game gonna come. You know what I'm saying? And with a son, you teach him the same way. So what I'm taking all that to say is, I've trained myself to catch what everybody did not catch. So I'm like my thoughts are in safety mode. I'm like a safety back there. Mm-hmm. Everybody else let that get through on that play. My mind saying, hold up, come your ass back over here. Y'all almost got me. Because I understand that I know marketing. I do marketing. I've been hired a couple years now. I'm not bragging. I'm not being braggadocious. I've been hired by a few companies. And I'm going to say this, God is so good. I've been hired by some companies that I would have never thought would have reached out to me for my thoughts and my antics. But when God showed me that I be on to something with what I do, how I do what I do, and people are willing to pay me for that. So when I see it coming in other situations, I'm not going to deem everything as marketing. I'm not, but I'm going to look at it as how could that have been spent or who spent that? It just seemed to me like it came out the blue. It made you be like, what? Oh, they got an album. They ain't going to put it out. Damn. This ain't for just anybody. This for the true Boosie and the true T.I fans. And you're going to merge them together. We're going to share each other's fan base. Right?
Yep.
So if I get everybody riled up, like, man, what's going on? And I got everybody paying attention, like I said, in front of the cameras, and we could fix this and redrop it, or they drop their separate projects, shit, it's going to make it. A perfect example, the thing just happened with me. Now, y'all know how much I get shaded. The Megan James interview. You know how much I get shaded, bro.
You know we was going to talk about that, but let's do it. Let's get into it.
You know how much I get shaded, for real.
Absolutely. Yep,
people laugh
absolutely.
at the things I do, but it's cool because I laugh to the bank. But I get shaded a lot, right? So when this young lady said what she said to me, I was like, I let it go. But then when you see how the people came to my defense, I was like, oh, y'all are so kind. Thank you so much. Man, y'all some, everybody, let's get a group hug. That's how I felt, you know what I'm saying? I'm being honest. It's like, group hug world, thank you for not defending me against her, but defending me against the notion of me only having one hit. It just was, whatever. But you see how everybody came to my defense, my aid for that? You saw?
Yeah.
Like, I was just looking for like, these niggas finna be hating when they hear this. Oh, they gonna definitely be hating when they hear this. But then when I go back and I read the comments, so I hear the conversations, when certain people reach out to me, I'm talking about some people done reached out to me, bro. I'm like, my feelings wasn't that hurt, but I appreciate it. I'm like, it made me go back and watch. Did I look sad? Did it look that bad? Or it was just like, did it really look like she tried me? So the reason I say that in the whole scheme of things, so how these people come to my defense right now, you realize, boy, this the time to drop some, boy. Boy, people riding for you, boy. Well, I didn't feel like that on all these other years when everybody laughing at me and talking shit about me. You know what I'm saying? When 42 said if I go broke like Jock, these people didn't chime in and be like, I don't know how he could be broke because he got a lot of hits. They ain't chime in for me on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you hear this and then it's like, yo, we here for you, my boy. And I'm like, oh, it's all y'all showed up. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate it, man. Oh, man. I got
Yo,
so many flowers.
when she asked you that question, was you just like, yo, you're clearly uninformed? Like what is going through your head at that moment?
Nah. You know what? Respectfully, man, if we could take the whole idea of shade out of it. Let's take shade out of this, right? And just think of somebody really believing that you only really, when they think of you, you know, I'm not really of your age. I was way younger. You know, I live on a whole nother coast. She could have really been in the pop boy bands. You don't know what the fuck she was into. We don't know this girl like that.
Yep.
So in her mind, she know you. Oh, cause you know, think about it. How many times you've gone to somebody's anything and you be like, yeah, bro, you ain't got but and people defend, be like, nah, man, bro, I got this, that. Oh, that's him? Or you at a concert and be like, yo, I didn't know that's who singing that song. You know, so it was a lot went through my mind. I was like, is this shade or is this unawareness? Is this just, you know, about awareness? Is it shade or her being unaware? Or ill-prepared for this interview? Because again, I said I was not scheduled to be in this interview. I was there on behalf of another artist to help them with some PR to see what goes on here. And as we're out the door and say, hey, can we just get a few minutes with you? I was like, well, I ain't really dressed, but all right, cool. Why not? I'm here. I'm trying to tell her how it go. Let me show her how it go. And if that was a teacher-student moment, student-teacher moment, it played out because within a few weeks of us doing it, it played out to show this person just how fast a bag of lemons can be turned into 5 gallons of lemonade.
Correct.
And as I went through that interview, you know, I explained to her, but I didn't take it like that. She apologized and all that. And some people like, oh, nah, you don't start no apology off with first off, you know, whatever. People, we're still, even me saying thank you to the people who have stepped up in support of the notion that I'm not a one-hit wonder. Thank you, world. Thank you so much. They're still willing to feel how they're gonna feel. So they like, nah. And I'm like, hey, I'm not mad at her. It was actually great that she did it. Streams are up. I swear to God, if I'm lying, God could take my life right now in front of these cameras. If I'm lying, this morning, I checked my bank account and there's a deposit. I don't know where it came from. I swear to God, if I'm lying, he could take my life. He could take my children from me right now. I may have time today. I'm gonna have to go to the bank and find out where did this money come from. There's no tag associated with it. It doesn't tell me where it came from. It doesn't tell me if it was a deposit. It's not an incoming wire. I don't know where, but it hit my account this morning. I'm like, I don't know where it came from. But that's how my blessings be working, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where they came from. So I got to go and talk. Now, if I was hurting, I'd be like, Lord have mercy, thank you. But I am thankful for wherever it came from, whoever sent it, but I got to go investigate on where it came from because I don't want to get to spending it and somebody say, oh, that was a mistake on the bank. You got to pay that back. So yeah, what I was saying was, that's how the blessings be coming. And with not only that, this morning, so many people have called within the last 2 days. Oh, we checking the book, young jock. I'm like, you know, made me be like, let me call Megan. Hey, Megan, oh, shit, man, you know, that was a little messed up that what happened, but I appreciate you, my boy, my girl. Appreciate you. Huh? See, there you go being shady again.
Nah, sometime it happened, man. You know it's crazy.
I really don't think she meant nothing by it, but people are like, nah, watch her. And I know kind of that she gauzy, she ballsy, she'll do it. But I don't know if she was really doing it to me. I don't.
Sometimes people are just ill-informed. They just don't know. It could be an honest mistake.
And sometimes in life, we never get to the finish line because we react too soon. They heard off one hit wonder. The question was, how have you been able to sustain for 20 years? Almost 20 years. That's what I heard. Even though that little bit, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a great question. As a journalist, that's a question that a lot of people don't get asked. How have you been able to sustain? Some people just say, boy, where you been at?
Yeah.
What you been doing all these years? We ain't seen you in a minute. You been working on something? Well, I've been, I gave my life to, I took some time, I was locked up, but man, I done went crazy for a minute. No, she said, how have you been able to sustain and live the lifestyle you want to live for 20 years off of one hit? Now I could take it and say this. That one hit record, that particular hit record is my biggest single, but it opened the doors for me. So what if we just left it at that and say all the singles, all the hits that came after that, all the collaborations that came after that, whether it was entertainment or it was just business, all the moves that other cats were scared to move on and I decided to move on, that worked for me. All those countless hours, days, long nights of dedication, that's where the sustainability has come from. Just to answer that question on this platform for the people who may not have seen the interview, because a lot of people don't really get a chance to ask that question. We don't know. People go through so many ups and downs every day, all day. Your biggest rapper can be up today and tomorrow one lawsuit that you don't know about. Got his ass, taxes, got him, get us. Shit, I'm working on some tax shit now. That's life. But we hear the what? And everybody came to my defense. And I appreciate it again. But, to Megan James, I ain't mad at you, baby. You know what I'm saying? I just think, in your journey of being a journalist, and to anybody, I know it is like you trying to stir the pot. You want to get the views. You need the clickbait, whatever you need to get the viewership. But I think that what's going to last is when you respect it. When people respect your approach and respect you as a journalist and respect your foundation and your platform for its integrity to journalism and sharing what people need to get out. That's what's going to sustain you. So let me just give you that ahead of time to anybody, not just Megan. You come on these platforms or just talking to people. People going to put the shade in because that's a part of, they riled you up. We don't want a boring interview. So how'd you start rapping? Like how many times you done heard that? So who was your inspiration? God damn, I answered this question 38,000 times. Hey man, how you been able to get money all this time on one album, off one single? Who you talking to?
Ain't heard that before.
See what I'm trying to say? So, hey man, I'm not mad. I do not invite the shade, but I am not afraid of the shade. I'll say that. I don't invite it. I'm not looking for it. But I will say I'm not afraid of it. I'm going to handle me, the best way I can at all times.
Okay, sticking with the whole get money.
Get money.
Your man Tyrese, he some time ago he said Will Smith gave him $5 million. And he recently came out and said he had a bad reaction to medication, which led him to saying Will Smith gave him $5 million. So I guess Will never gave him that money, but that medication had him believe that he did receive, like you received money in your bank account earlier today.
I don't know where that shit came from.
Maybe the same thing happened with him. I don't know. Is that a plausible reason for imagining you received $5 million from somebody?
Well, to his defense, after hearing that last interview, because I did listen, and I made sure I listened with a very non-judgmental ear. I listened. So I just put it at ease and put it on neutral, and I listened. And that brother said, Tyrese said, I ain't smoke, I ain't drank, I ain't pop no, I don't do drugs, never did drugs. And then here y'all are saying, here's something for me to deal with, whatever he was dealing with, his depression or whatever, I can't remember. And I don't want to misquote him or misspeak, but he alleged that this was his first time taking anything of this magnitude on a medicinal level. And it had him fucked out of his mind. Yeah, I believe him when I heard it. I was like, damn, I ain't know that. And then when you think about it, come on, man, just go to YouTube and look at videos of people who be high for something as simple as when they coming out that medicine, when they getting a wisdom tooth. Them be the funniest videos in the world, bro. You can't lie.
Yeah, you're right.
Them videos be funny as shit. People be saying shit, and then you go back and they be like, I said that? Oh my God. I'd have seen the reaction after the reaction video where they showing them the video back and they'll pop, Mama, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be cussing like that. I didn't even know I talked like that. Well, you don't talk like that. You was on them drugs, baby. Okay. I won't do that again. Don't give me no more of that shit. Cause I even told Tyrese, he and I, we spoke on the interview where it appeared that he shaded me one time. And Wendy Williams came to my defense, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things when I talked to him about it that day, he's like, man, I don't even remember that shit. And I was just like, all right, it's posted, it's on you. It was on your IG, but it's okay, cause it's cool. but again, I did not take it personal. Not just cause I'm who I am. It was clear that brother was going through some things. I don't think
for a period in time.
We had never saw him act out like that.
We had never seen, and to his defense, I think everybody, I'm gonna speak for myself. I actually thought he was having some type of breakdown. I thought that he was literally going through a mental breakdown of some sort because he was getting on live 2, 3, 4 in the morning just doing off the wall stuff, saying off the wall stuff.
My brother, let's be for real. From the outside looking in, this man has had an amazing career.
Oh, absolutely.
This man has been a breadwinner of breadwinners in his career. This brother has reached some heights. He's done these huge movies.
I mean, people were killed just for a part of his career. Like, let's just keep it 100. He's part of 2 major franchises, the Transformers and Fast and Furious. He's in both of them.
Say, man, you feel me?
100%.
So, when someone has been that successful, has been afforded this type of success in this degree, let's be for real, bro. The simple things that me and you or the average cat can handle, he might not be able to handle that. Meaning, when he was going through that stuff about his daughter, with his daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, man, everything you be done work for, that's cool. But that don't mean I've exercised in this arena enough to understand how to properly navigate and defend everything that's coming at me in this space. Cause I've been on such a high. You know how these people speak on Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
He can hit the shit out you, but he can't take a hit because he don't get hit a lot. You see what I'm saying? Kind of get what I'm saying? Like the brother done did his thing, but has he ever had to deal with this type of issue? And I think that part of that be like, people who have it all, they break down over the smallest things. And people who have nothing be like, you tripping on that? Because you understand how to be in this space. You know what I'm trying to say, man?
Sure.
It's kind of like, you never went through nothing like that, maybe. I don't know, but peace to that, bro. That brother right there, Tyrese, man. I pray that, he keep getting his bag the way he getting it, man, and don't let them people put him on no more of that dope. He good, though. I think he good, though. I seen him out a few times, and look like he doing well to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just seen him on set. The Fast and the Furious, number 10. I think he doing all right.
All right.
Shout to Tyrese.
Yeah.
Shout to Tyrese. But before I lose my train of thought, we were talking about Will Smith earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that Chris Rock special, Selective Outrage?
I saw excerpts.
Excerpts? You ain't sit through the whole thing?
I haven't. Man, brother, I'm trying to get to the point where somebody come on stage and slap me. I want to be that big where I'm hosting some shit where they that mad that I'm hosting. Well, I ain't gonna say Will Smith was mad that he was hosting because I don't, you know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, man, I finish where you was going, and I'll chime back in.
Okay, how about this? You saw excerpts.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the excerpts where Chris finally addressed the Will Smith slap?
Yeah. When he kept saying bitch, kept saying Jada name.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw
it. He said something that was so real. He was like, yo, which is truth. He was like, yo, you mad at me. You mad at the wrong person. Your wife was sleeping with your son's friend. That's number one. But then you go and do a sit-down interview with the person who cheated on you, and y'all was the one who put it out to the world. We wouldn't even known about it. Y'all did that. Who actually does that? And first off, it was hilarious, but secondly, you got a point.
No, got a hell of a point. That was one of the clips I saw. And I was like, damn. Yeah, it did kind of play out like this, and it played out like that, and damn, he ended up having to sit down. He said, you ain't never had to be interviewed by the person who cheated on you, have you? And when he said, I said, God damn. That's how you got slapped the first time. But when you take the time to point out the truth, no matter how far you got to go to get the truth, that's sustainability. You know, hey man, it's a dirty game. But you, again, when you put it out there, that's how I go. When you put it out there, you got to be prepared for whatever comes with it. Because sometimes people do things with the end goal in mind, right? And they could see how it's gonna play out because they're kind of putting everything in place, all the parameters, they're setting the table, they're setting the parameters on how they want this thing to play out. But then there's this organic part that happens that you never know is gonna happen. You be like, oh, I didn't know it was gonna do that. And yeah, so it is interesting the way it has grown into this whole big story time about their personal lives. And because it felt like that was used to jump off Red Table Talks. It was already around, but I felt like that right there really made people say, I got to tune in because she got to be driving some game. If you telling me she been able to do all this, sustain her marriage, sustain her career, sustain her lifestyle, and still be this class act in front of the world, I want to tune in to Red Table Talk and hear, what is it, Red Table Talk, right?
That's it, yeah.
I want to tune in to hear what she got to say. And she got the viewership that she was looking for. Now, it don't look like it, from the outside looking in, I don't see, it doesn't appear to have changed the dynamics of their family. Their kids been, you know, these free thinkers, free spirits. They too themselves are. So that's just what it's come to. At the end of the day, that's what it's come to. But they put that shit out there. And then they sat down and talked to each other about it in front of the world. It sounds a little crazy, don't it?
It sounds all the way crazy.
It sounds all the way crazy until you realize no matter what, they came and sat back down. They both made it back to the table. In our community and in society, a lot of times people don't make it back to the table, baby.
Preach, Jock.
You know,
Preach,
some
Jock.
people get taken out before the table, before it's even an offering for you to come back to the table. somewhere in there, you got to be able to, hey man, let me tell you something. You ever hear the phrase, man, it's hard to find, it's like a needle in a haystack. You hear people say needle in a haystack?
Yeah.
Because when people sit there and look at all these pieces of hay they got to move out the way just to get to the truth, they might have moved the truth out the way. So some people just will say, hey man, it's over with. The end, and leave it at that. No, you got to be willing to move this shit out the way, move the trash out the way. Let's get to what we here for. What's the truth? And that's the truth is, they were willing to do whatever they were willing to do to get to this outcome. And here we back to that again. This is the outcome. And as two consenting adults, nobody made you sit here, nobody forced you to be here. There's not a judge involved. There are not goddamn attorneys involved. It's not the world making them do that. They decided to do that, and I applaud them for that as a unit. No matter how weird that shit look, how crazy they look, because you can go right to your best friend's house right now and him and his goddamn wife and family do some shit that you and your wife and family just don't do. It's weird. It's like, I love y'all, but that shit not weird. I don't let my dog get in my bed. That in itself is just so goddamn weird to me. Like, you let your dog get in your bed? Man, this the dog like our baby. Boy, y'all crazy as hell. But that just as that's weird, this looks weird. So all I'm saying is kudos to Will Smith, his wife, they family unit. They living how they living. They still richer than a mug. And they were able to be two consenting adults willing to get back to that table as two consenting adults and talk about the problems they've caused each other and they've shared in front of the world. So when everybody seems like, oh my God, that's crazy over there. Oh my God, that's probably the most stable shit I done seen. That's probably the most unstable, stable shit you done seen.
Yeah.
That's an unstable stable. That's been
you
stabilized.
just broke that down. You really just broke that down so dope, Jock.
I'm saying, bro, like sometimes we gotta talk about it because what's the lesson in it all?
Well, the lesson is don't smack a comedian in front of 1 million people and think he ain't gonna come back after he get his bag from Netflix and spend 10 minutes roasting the hell out of you. That's the lesson.
I always tell people this. Never give the camera anything that you don't want to be seen. Because once the cameras capture, it's going to be manipulated how the world wants you out of it. So what it says is, hey, him and Jada probably, Will and Jada probably sat at that table and said, look here, man, we can't do this shit no more because this shit got out of hand. People want to beat me up. These people didn't want to carry my new movie, Emancipation. People is mad at me who I thought was my friends forever. Everybody know you got down. Don't give a fuck at this point. We should just shut the fuck up and keep our business. They probably high-fived and the guy, he slapped on his ass, she slapped on his ass, and they went off after that damn episode. Cause what I see out of it, I'm telling you, man, I'm like, damn, as crazy as it seems, it is one of the most stable blow-ups, glow up, and it's stabilized. It's like, boom. Oh. They're not in the news talking about how there's an ongoing $300 million divorce between, oh my God, Jada did this, Jada left. Jada was seen in Italy, kids getting smashed from the back from Damps and Idris. Like, think about how that could go for unstable people.
Yeah.
That shit could have been crazy. That shit could have been look like some OJ shit. You know what I'm trying to say, man? You feel what I'm saying? Yes, so for none of this other crazy shit you expect to happen from that to happen, and it comes back to the end result of them being able to sit down and administer therapy to one another. Yeah, it made Jada look like a real big old player, but hey, man, they got to that point. He had to be man enough to sit there And because I ain't no telling what this nigga, this is Will Smith, boy. This man done had his way. If he could tell some of the shit he done did, we'll all be around this mother. It'll probably be some relationships that'll break up today. Today. Will Smith,
We already
in his
know.
prime,
We
but I know he
already
done
know.
dicked some of these folk down. I know he done dicked some women in Hollywood down. Let's be for real. But as a man, he know what he done done. And I'm not saying that he did it without the discretion of his wife. I'm not saying that in no kind of way. I'm just saying it's some other untold secrets, I'm sure. And at the end of the day, with that being said, he knows what's going on. She knows what's going on. They were mature enough to sit down and get their shit together in front of the world. And I applaud that.
Well said, young jock. Well said. Tasha K just lost the appeal, the defamation lawsuit that was brought up against her by Cardi B, where she was ordered to pay $4 million. She finally apologized. She made a video. She put it out there. Yo, I apologize for those disparaging remarks, the defamation against Cardi. Was she doing that because she want Cardi to drop that $4 million and say it's all love, girl power? Or does she really mean that in her heart?
Honestly, man, let's be for real. Defeat is one thing behind closed doors. But amidst the world watching, it's heavy. And that's a heavy load for her to bear. You know, depending on how they sued her. If they sued her, that's who she is. Did they sue her company? Who all is involved? Is the husband in the lawsuit? Because I know the husband owned properties and shit, her husband. You know, it's just one of them things, man. As we spoke on earlier when it comes to journalism, it's all fun and games when your numbers is up and you winning off of doing what you do. But you catch one of these moments and you got to be held accountable, and your family feels the impact of what you've done. It makes you think things a little differently. I had a conversation with Tasha K one time. It was via DM. And I can see how she lost this case.
What do you mean?
I understand, because, you know, when you don't think you can be held accountable for doing something that you've just been doing, you know, it's kind of like you throw it up and it just works out for you, and you don't know there's consequences and repercussions. You know it's consequences and repercussions, but nobody's really pushing the button. You know what I'm saying? You got to get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you know no one's putting, you like, ain't nobody suing and doing all that shit. They'll try, the courts will throw it out. But when that shit come back and it hit your ass, what, $4 million?
And it stick. It's
And it
one thing for
stick.
it to come back, but when it stick.
Bro, she'll be working a long ass time to pay that off. I don't even know if she could file bankrupt to clear that.
No, I mean, that's going to be with her. The bankrupt, that's a temporary solution.
Now, Cardi may never get a full $4 million, but if them folks get to going in and start seizing assets, property, man, you don't know what kind of money people got in the bank. But see, what makes it even worse, when it appeared that she was taunting her and was like, I ain't got it. When she was doing all that shit.
So let me ask you again, do you think that apology was sincere and genuine? Or was it, damn,
when you done got your ass spanked that hard, I'm sorry. I am sorry. You a damn near turn to goddamn Oprah on Color Purple. You look cockeyed saying that shit if you got to. Hell is you talking about? You look like Samuel L. Jackson on goddamn the Django. I'm sorry. That's a head. $4 million, boy, that you got to give. You ain't even made $4 million. The hell is you talking about? That's just like being 16 years old, talking about they finna give you 50 years. You ain't even lived 50 years. How the fuck you gonna give it to somebody? Jesus. She ain't even made $4 million and she got to give up $4 million? Man, that is debt. That's what you call overhead.
Yo,
she
you know
paid
what's
for that.
crazy?
She got, shit. What?
What's crazy is I was talking to Vlad, and Vlad said even after she got sued by Cardi, Tasha made a video falsely claiming she knows that Vlad, AKA the police, sends his footage to the police before his interviews air. And you know Vlad ain't got no problem getting his lawyers on you and getting the authority. She had to take that video down, but it goes to the point that sometimes when you throw stuff up for so long and it been working for you, you don't think that there's going to be repercussions behind it.
That's what I said. I mean, listen, man. You know, the night of my wedding, when that shit hit the blogs that I had a mystery child out here, Tasha K did that shit. I never said that. Are you serious? I'm serious. Tasha K did that shit.
Hold on. Before we go forward, you know that to be a fact?
We spoke in the DM. I already knew she had the story. I already knew she was on it. She was questioning too many people. And they like, hey man, this Tasha K bitch keep woo. And I got the back and forth in my DM now. What you mean? And I said, hey man, why? What are you doing? What's your reason for this? I said, is this to gain attention of fans? She said, hey, don't worry about me. You need to worry about this child. I said, look. I said, do you know this to be factual? Do you know if there's DNA evidence that proves this is my child? Why are you doing this on my wedding night? And that shit went back and forth like, look, I'm doing this for Kendra. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. You ain't doing that for my wife. That ain't what that is. This ain't that and that ain't that. That is not. I said, why would you want to gain more enemies? You already dealing with shit. And she said, hey man, whatever it is this a threat? I said, it's not a threat. I'm just asking you real life questions. Like, are you that willing to put everything on the line for some likes? And I said, you should really reconsider this story that you're trying to push because you don't know what's going on. And she said, well, I'll take it down. Not for you, but I'm going to take it down for Kendra. Something she said. I got the email. I got that shit in my thread. And I was just like, why would you do that? I'm like, why? Like, you don't even know what's going on. Why would you do that? So when that whole shit came out, I could have been said, oh man, she did, and this who, and, but I just sat back and I just watched God spank her. I don't kick people when they down. I don't kick people at all unless you offend me. And I was offended by that, but I ain't had to kick her. God was already giving her ass whooping she never knew she was gonna get. So, and I don't even, it's crazy? I ain't even mad at her. Not even mad at her. Because sometimes people have to sacrifice themselves to show people the true guidelines of how this shit go and how it can't go. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people have to sacrifice themselves for the world to see, hey, this is what you don't do. Everybody's not gonna be the trophy. This is what kids, we want to introduce you to such and such. This is how you do it. Sometimes, hey, you need somebody to be able to come and sit down and say, hey, how y'all doing? I'm the infamous such and such. I am the person y'all don't want to be. I'm here so y'all don't have to turn out the way I did or end up in a situation like I did. Because some good could come out of this for Tasha K too. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know she got nuts. She got nuts. That's what she want to do in the space of journalism. And she can figure out a way to tweak it up and tweak it out. If she paid it $4 million, she might come back and be the best thing going. I don't know. So I'm not gonna kick her while she down. I just know that's a lot of damn money to pay somebody who you know don't even need it.
Yeah. Don't even need it.
Oh, that's when it hurt. Like, oh, you already rich, bitch. Oh, I gotta go for me. Oh, fuck you, bitch. What you say? I'm sorry. That shit got me tired. That shit made me feel like I need to pick up 2 extra jobs tomorrow. God damn.
Yeah.
That shit should make you want to go pick up a shift at work. Hey, boss, I was wondering, you need me to cover 2 more shifts for the weekend? Cool, yeah, I don't mind doing it. Hell, I got $4 million I got to pay out.
Yeah, but it's crazy that, like I said earlier, that even after she was sued,
I'm telling you,
she
bro.
put up that story about Vlad. Yeah.
Have you ever been sued before?
Nah.
Okay. Well, sometimes people get sued. People get sued often and nothing happens. You just end up having to spend the money up front initially for legal counsel. Because sometimes it costs money to continue to pursue. You know what I'm saying? To go and chase down and try to get your money. It still costs money to go and do that. And a lot of times people are willing to just say, I'm gonna just walk away from it, man. They ain't got it to give it to me no way. And nothing happens. And some people, like your 50 Cents, remember him suing Tierra Marie?
Mm-hmm.
He just sued his mans from Branson. Man, they hit him for 2 point something million, you know what I'm saying? Done seized the man's house and shit, and 50 say he gonna keep the pictures up in that motherfucker. I'm gonna keep, you know what? I like this family portrait. This is what it looks like to win a lawsuit of this magnitude. Some people going after theirs, man. I got lawsuits right now that I can go today, file a lawsuit. And I'm like, do I want to spend that kind of money chasing somebody I know ain't got it? Come on, man. So yeah, she better say she's sorry. If I were her, I will go if I were her, I'll go take all the Cardi B songs, all her hits, and remix them and make a I'm sorry song to all of them. But you heard Cardi say, if it's up, then it's stuck, goddamn. It's up, goddamn. I'll be writing Cardi a letter every day. Dear Cardi, I'm so sorry. I just started popping up under their pictures. Y'all look so cute today. Y'all family is so. I am praying for you and your family. God continues to bless y'all. Get on some of them posts where Offset be wearing the goddamn futuristic, super stylish clothes. I'll be like, this is so nice. Yes, this is working. I'm trying to do everything to get back. I be on the goddamn baby mama pages trying to get goddamn Offset to be like, baby, let her goddamn. Oh, your kids are so beautiful. Goddamn. I be front row at the shows with them goddamn, you know how people be having the pictures of your face? They be holding pictures at your show. I be goddamn front row. I'm sorry.
Yo, you a wild boy,
I'm
John.
serious. I'm gonna find a way to get to you to at least make you say, all right. You know they sell them packages like Chris Brown was selling for $1,000, come back there and take a picture. I come back there with a guy. I'll pay that $1,000. I have a t-shirt on, say I'm sorry. I'll be like, hey, I was hoping this would just get me to be able to speak to you. But if it don't work, could I at least put this $1,000 toward that $4 million? No. Oh, security, y'all taking me out of here? I ain't trying to laugh at that lady, man, but how this shit go, boy? When you do it in front of people, I mean.
Okay. Yo, let's move this thing on, man. Doing stuff in front of people. Your girl Larsa Pippen. Real Housewives.
Damn,
Real Housewives
Scotty. Man, Scotty. Scotty, I don't know what you did to Larsa, Scotty. But you need to call Tasha K and find out how to write these I'm sorry letters. Larsa, I am so sorry. Please, you is fucking up a player's legacy out here. You out here talking about you fuck 4 times a night for 20-something. Larsa, please. Larsa. I am so happy for you and Marcus Jordan. I think y'all make the best couple I ever seen. Please, just get off of platforms talking about us. My family keep calling me, talking about, look at this bitch. I'm sick of it. Larsa, I'm sorry. Sincerely. Scotty. Don't say it. She hurt my feelings for Scotty. Every time I see her, I be like, damn, Scotty. You know, as a man, listen, as men, when we embarrassed for you, we embarrassed for you. It's like I know, it's brother. And then we try to act like we been through it too. I've been through the same thing. Nigga, you ain't even, I know. It sounds good to tell you, bro. It's gonna be all right. No, it's not. She doing another interview tomorrow on The View. She about to sit down with Jada and Will. Ain't no telling how this shit finna turn out. You know what I'm saying? It's too, like, Larsa, you gotta chill out. Like, Larsa's like, cause it's almost like she's spinning the story so people don't judge her for just looking for love. It's like, look, I was a sex slave for 20-some years. I fucked 4 times a night. I traveled and fucked. I woke up and fucked. She said she never missed a night of sex. Don't they got kids?
Exactly.
You was not fucking 4 times a night when you was pregnant. The night you had the babies, you fucked. Them
For
nights
23
too?
years.
For 23 years?
23 years straight. Do you understand that woman's womb?
That's why she ain't with Scotty no more. Ain't nothing left in that man. If that would have happened, you know, that's a late Scotty. That's a lot of shit. That's a lot of nuts, Scotty. God damn.
Yo, but you want to know what's crazy? Like, she gotta get off this PR tour she on.
Man, listen.
This publicity tour that she's on right now. Do you understand? She's sleeping with a man damn near he's not half her age. I don't want to exaggerate. Sleeping with Michael Jordan's son. And then had the nerve to be like, yo, you know what? If we get married, yeah, I'm going to change my name. Like, I'm going by. I'm now going to be Larsa Jordan.
Like, that wasn't even, no. Like, I don't know what you did, Scotty. You need to call Larsa and just say, I'm sorry. Please, just fall back. You fucking up a player legacy out here. Because she making it seem like I don't know. At the end of the day, guess what? It's her business. Fuck it. She done moved on. Once they done, they done. You know what I'm saying? When you done, you done. You know, we think that it's rules in the game. Man, fuck all that. She gonna go. She was with Future, allegedly. She was with whoever she was with. That's her business. And that's the messed up part about it. It should not be broadcasted who the lady is having adult activities with. That's her business.
She's the one broadcasting it.
I know. That's her business. That's what I'm saying. So I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for Scotty. Scotty. Damn, Scotty. I know Scotty probably be smoking a lot of reefer these days, this bitch. Roman, no. Hold on, what? Oh, Roll up
Yo,
too.
do you understand when Scotty woke up that morning and got 1 million DMs, 1 million text messages, his phone was blowing up, he trying to figure out what's the emergency, what happened. I ain't been this popular, this important, this much in the news for the last 20-something years. And then come to find out my ex-wife is saying I got her as a sex slave 4 times a night for 23 straight years.
But his DM probably jumping, boy. Them women, there's probably some cougars in here.
Oh, without a doubt.
Listen here, Scotty. You could pipe me up any day. You could put that Pippen in me pimping. Bring that Pippen over this way pimping. Cause Scotty do kind of look different. Scotty look like he might fuck 4 times. Like, I don't give a shit. Scotty don't move shit in his face but his eyes. Scotty probably stone faced like a motherfucker fucking 4 times a night. Scotty, you ought to be ashamed of yourself if that shit true. Only if that shit true. If it ain't true, it's all good. It's just Larsa. You gotta chill out, man. Going on now. You're making a player look bad and it ain't called for. Y'all ain't together. The man ain't said nothing about you, Larsa. Going on now. If you gonna marry his name Marcus, right?
Marcus.
If you gonna marry Marcus, go on and marry Marcus and stay out the light. Cause you finna fuck up. You gonna do too much, and then that boy daddy gonna say, hey, son, man, let that shit go. You done already fucked over Scotty. Let that shit go. And then he gonna fuck around and let you go, Larsa. You better just fall back now. Fall back. Don't keep fucking with your new boo. And if you the one, he make you the one, then you have you some shoes. When you put them shoes on, you be like, that's my last name too. You could do that then. But you finna fuck it up. Stop these interviews, Larsa. Go on, sit your ass down somewhere and do whatever Marcus say, how many times he say a night, however many years y'all finna do that shit. Let's be done with that shit.
All right, we done with this part. Let's move on, kid. Nicki Minaj, according to Billboard, she's in the top 10 best rappers of all time, 50 greatest rappers of all time. But Nicki's saying that labels that have other females on them, they pay media outlets to print diss stories, derogatory stories about her. Vlad said, he's been doing this channel for 15, 16 years. He said he has never had one label approach him about putting out anything derogatory toward Nicki Minaj. But obviously she believes that's what's going on. You think have you ever even heard anything like that?
Well, sometimes it don't necessarily come with the label coming right off saying some shit a certain way. Let's be for real. Like, it's not like it's a motherfucker walking in here and on their shirt it say label. Niggas ain't just walking in and they say goddamn Warner or Atlantic or Def Jam, goddamn Interscope. Hey man, I'm coming in here to bring you some money to this person. It don't look like that. It's you think it's like right now. If a label wants to throw a party for artists, they just cut the check and they got the people that they just go set shit up and do things, right? You get us a party for the DJ. Damn, we got strippers in here. The strippers don't know the label paid for this shit. The DJ don't know the label paid for this shit. The people in here cooking this goddamn food don't know the label paid for this shit. They just know they got their money. So a lot of times, how that shit might come, it come different. It come in the form of, we want you to do this and push that narrative. And those people get those coins. And I believe it. I've been with labels. I've seen things happen. Let me just say this. I do believe it's some validity in her statement. Because sometimes labels gonna push certain stuff anyway because the artists that they're pushing might have a beef with Nicki or might be running on this tag or whatever. And they're saying, hey, well, let's talk, make sure you, it's like the person who does radio with the artist walks the artist in and they give you the bullet points. So this is what we talking about. We focusing on this. If they say that, do this, don't say this or say this. It works like that. And I'm not saying that they walking in and saying, hey, I'm Atlantic and I want you to say this about this person. It ain't working like that. But I could see I can see competition doing different things.
You know, you might be right, but as you know, I worked at a label for the better part of my adult life.
Mm-hmm.
And I pushed and broke many an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I've walked many an artist into radio, giving them talking points.
Yep.
And I can't, even as you was talking, I'm like, yo, can I think of one time, even one time that me or anybody who worked for me was ever was ever in a situation where we wanted to plan a story or attack another artist? And I can't think of one. Real talk.
Maybe not you, but I've seen it happen myself.
Really?
Yes. It wasn't towards anybody against me. But I was privy to something, and I'm not even finna get into that shit, but I was privy to something. I was like, and at first I was like floored by it, like, wait a minute, they want them to do what? But then when I sat back and I thought about it, I said, oh, this shit ain't no different than mudslinging. It's just like campaigning. Look at your elected officials right now. I don't give a fuck who your favorite president is, who your favorite politician is. They had to mudslinging against their competition in that world of politics. So let's not act like, oh, we as the world don't know it happens. We may not see it all the time. You and your camp, hey man, thankful to God, you may have never had to do that. But you think people are not trying to capitalize off of their ops, their competition? Because right now, if somebody going against Nicki and that artist is signed to them, they ain't stopping that artist from doing. They ain't cutting the budget. When the artist talking shit, are they? Are they cutting the budget? Or are they pushing that budget even more for the artist to keep talking their shit against Nicki? See, it could be directly or indirectly. I'm not even gonna get into all that shit. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals. Let's be for real. We talk about so much shit, but if the label is putting the money up to where this person is this budget is fueling this artist's career, or this artist doing this PR run, and on this whole PR run, this artist is doing this and saying that, then is the label putting up money to? Are they funding that? You ain't gonna look at it like that because you're gonna look at it like it's more like the artist, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because she could look at it like that. Like, I mean, it's kind of vague. It's like, are we at, like, even right now, is the United States at war with Russia? Are we at war with Russia?
Nope.
No, right?
Nope.
But we're aiding and funding Ukraine. And if I'm aiding, if I'm giving you the firepower, I'm giving you the financial backing, whether to defend or to attack your opposer or oppressor, I'm not in it with you.
Yo, Jock, stop. Yo, Jock, you really are dope at this, kid. You like, let me just give you your flowers. Stay there for a second. You really are so dope at this. Your perspective, because I'm sitting here listening to, and I was on the other side of the fence, because I know what it is to be a record exec. And I'm like, yo, I don't know if I 100% agree with where he going. But your perspective, man, like, yes, I get it. You're making so much sense right now, but proceed, my brother. I just wanted to give you your flowers.
Thank you. The reason I look at things this way, let me tell you why. Because when I feel that I'm wronged, and this is what I see, when you're on the other side of that, you don't see why I'm being wronged because you're not looking at it the way that I'm presenting it. I may present it in a way to where you're not willing to accept that. Like, nah, bro, it wasn't like that. well, maybe it wasn't like that. I took it this way. This is how I took it. Well, I don't even see how you took it that way. I know because you're on the other side of it. It happens. I mean, when I'm wronging you, I'm not thinking about what if you was wronging me or if somebody would come back and wrong me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm robbing you right now, I'm not mad. I hope nobody don't come back and rob me like this. I'm in that shit. I'm doing what I'm doing, bro. When it's, I'm gonna come out of that. At the end of the day, listen. I know what it's like to feel like you're being wronged and everyone acts as if they don't see it. And sometimes it's not that they act like they don't see it. It depends on the angle you present it. That's all. It's just like right now, if somebody when you sitting here, just as you was on the other side, someone's trying to defend something, you don't see it that way. Y'all don't see it, but somebody steps in, a mediator. I'm gonna do this for a reason, because this is what we missing in our community, the real mediators. We had mediators in our community growing up when you was a child. If your mama couldn't get to your head, the neighbor could get to your head, couldn't it?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Not today. A neighbor will get his ass shot 3-4 times. The child will shoot the neighbor. The parents ain't got to go, you put your hand on my child? No. Back in the day, we had mediators, people that would step in and help fix shit. We lack that now. We have instigators. We have people that jump in and make it worse than what it is until it's fueled out of hand, and then it's a problem. So, yeah, we need more mediators, because I be feeling a lot of people's pain and where they be coming from, and I just don't. I may not voice it, because who am I? I'm just me. I may not voice it, but I'm saying I may not voice it because I don't even feel like getting involved in that convo. I don't want to be drugged into this convo because it's not my issue at this moment. But that don't mean it don't make me think like, damn, what if that was me?
Understood. Speaking of you, the last time, you know I had to go here, kid. The last time me and you sat down and chopped it up, the Tory Lanez verdict hadn't come in yet. And damn near 2 days after,
God.
Yo, I gotta give it to you. You a man of your word, my brother. You said you was gonna cut your hair, and you did just what you said. What did you think when that verdict came in? And here's what I need you to paint the picture. Where was you at? And I know we talked about Scotty waking up to about 1 million tweets and 1 million DMs.
Boy,
I know your joint was blowing up.
Yo, let me tell you what happened. So, of course, I told you, I made this bet, me, Shawty, and Miss Shanika. You know, my morning show crew, Young Jock in the Streets Morning Takeover. And when I made that bet, I came right here to this platform and I talked about it on Vlad. Me and you talked about it. And I told you the reason I felt. I was like, you know what? It's so many things that are coming out in this case. It just might be a mistrial. I never said if Tory was innocent, if he was guilty. I never said if Meg was innocent or if she was lying or she knew what was going on. I didn't say any of that stuff. I just was like, man, I don't know what the hell I wasn't there. But what it looked like, it's going to be a mistrial and Tory's not going to get convicted. Well, I misspoke. He was convicted. He was found guilty. So before it happened, here's the crazy thing though, Prez. This was crazy. Miss Shanika had hit me with a text. She went in our group thread and said, damn, I guess I'm finna be in the studio with these braids, because we told her she couldn't have no other hair, no wig, no frontal, no install, no nothing. She had to wear the braid back. We want to see them braids, that natural, want to see that sea leaf color purple. Want to see the real essence of this black woman, hair braided back when you come to work. She called us and sent us a meme of a woman with braids because they had them put it out there. It was one of those fake posts, one of those premature posts. Tory Lanez found not guilty. I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I ain't got to cut my damn hair off. I was like, damn, I'm thinking to myself, I know he happy as hell. And then She hit back like, oh, spoke too soon, fake news. I was like, damn. And then when that shit hit, man, I woke up, prayers. I had so many text messages and phone calls. And it was just people sending me emojis of a bald head, Mr. Clean. They were sending me pictures of Michael Jordan with my face infused crying, the bald head. They were sending me pictures of Ving Rhames with the bald head. They were sending me pictures of Seal with the bald. I just had so many pictures of people with bald head, and people wanted me to stand on it. And I did.
You a man of your word.
I did.
There ain't no two ways about that.
And it cost me some money too.
What you mean it cost you money?
Yeah, I was working on a show. And for continuity's sakes, I had to have the same hair that I had. And I forgot about it. So when I cut my hair off, every time I filmed, I had to do the unthinkable.
Which is what? Wear a wig?
I wouldn't say a wig.
Don't tell me you had a hair weave in or something.
I didn't say that. I had to go get a G-unit.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, my God. Man, one day, man, this man that came to my house and put this damn unit on my head. Man, this nigga brought me Rico Suave here. I said, bro. He like, man, it's gonna have to do tomorrow. You feel? I like, bro. And I was just like, I'm not even finna let you put this on my head, bro. But I'm such a silly guy. I just said, go ahead. Man, I walked in there, filmed them people like, go home. Go home. You are not coming on here looking like your name is Gustavo Ramirez. Cause I look like, and I was like, man, damn, it's amazing what a texture of your hair could do. You know, but just to put that out there, I probably shouldn't have said that. Hope they don't sue me.
Oh man, well, you was a good sport. You was a good sport,
Hey
John.
man, I had to. I had to do it. It was just a real moment.
Nah, that's dope. All right. Speaking of cases, YSL Rico case. I think they're still in the process of trying to find jurors for it.
Yeah.
Gunna, as you know, he got out. People are questioning whether what he did is technically considered snitching or not. Allegedly, he left his label. He left YSL in 300. And he moved over to and signed a new deal with Atlantic. And again, that's allegedly what's being said. But 600 Breezy did an interview right here on Vlad TV. And he said the only way that Gunna is going to be able to retain his rap career is if Thug publicly says that he agrees with or he co-signed Gunna taking that plea deal.
Do you think at some point he could get to where he was before or even bigger?
That's the only way that he can do that is when Thug come home and be on his side.
Aha. Okay.
That's the only way. If Thug don't put out a statement saying that he didn't tell on him and that's his brother, or you don't see Thug when Thug get out and be like this and they still beat Thug and Gunna how they was, his career ain't gonna be able to do it no more. He needs that.
It's dependent on Young Thug. That's an interesting interesting statement. Yeah.
He needs that because it's like everybody looking at it like, oh, you snitched on Thug. Thug put you on. You a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But it's niggas like me that's looking like, man, all that nigga did was plead guilty to what he was guilty of.
You agree with that, or you think irregardless?
In a sense, that's how the streets gonna look at it. That ain't necessarily true. That man dropped some hit that make these women move their ass, but some of these women not gonna care about that. That shit don't mean nothing to them snitching. They like, shit, I got a brother that got killed and y'all niggas kept saying no snitching and his murderer is still out there at large. So it's some people who they don't give a fuck about that no snitching campaign. It's people out there praying and asking you and have publicly asked for the public to give up yourself or give up. If you did it, please turn yourself in. Or can y'all please call Crime Stoppers or call your local this and that. And my baby or some, you got some people don't give a fuck about that no snitching shit. For real. They're like, I hear y'all, but I got a 3-year-old child that got shot in the head in a fucking drive-by and nobody gonna snitch. And it's somebody who know that did that, and I ain't did nothing to nobody, and nobody won't give justice for my baby. And some people don't give a fuck about that no snitch campaign. So they gonna hear it and be like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Play his music. I like his music. If he'll snitch, he'll snitch. So what? You got some women. That's how he gonna have to come. He gonna have to come with some shit that's gonna make women move, or he got to get so hard with them songs and them bars where a nigga gotta be like, damn. I see it from his side, his point of view. And you just never know. I mean, at the end of the day, we keep saying what's gotta be this and what's gotta be that. Shit. It's a different day and age we live in, man. People will support things that you would never expect them to support until you see it being supported, and then that's when your awareness and awakening truly happens. Like, oh, I guess I was wrong all this time. Because if he drop a hit record, you can say what you want to say. DJ, I ain't gonna support it, you ain't got to. People stream the fuck out of it. I sat down with my kids the other day and listened to NBA YoungBoy songs. I didn't even know these songs existed. These songs got millions and millions and millions of views. I never heard it. That don't mean you can't win. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that Breezy is wrong or right. Furthermore, what I'm not gonna do is sit here and say what another man can or cannot overcome. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't know what the hell this shit is. We don't know what's going on with that case. Whether Thug come out in public and say he did or didn't, that ain't none of my goddamn business, right? But if that man if he drops some shit that move the world, they to move all that no snitching shit right out the way. But he gotta dig deep, and that's what he gotta put out.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Speaking of another case, obviously we lost Takeoff, 1/3 of the Migos.
Mm-hmm.
And 600 Breezy, he thinks that Quavo won't testify in that trial to save his rap career. Even though that's his nephew. And I'm listening to everything you just said. Do you think when that trial is off and running, he's going to take the stand knowing, number one, this is family. This is blood. I don't care what y'all think. Or is his rap career going to be taken into consideration?
Man, at the end of the day, man, you got to step back and ask yourself for real. You got to ask yourself what's important to you. That's all this shit, that's what it boiled down to. Because there ain't no code in the streets for real. If it was code in the streets, we would have more successful streets. If it was code, if it was truly honor and code in the streets, everybody in the streets would be up by 100,000 at least. Because that's where everything started, in the streets. Our music started in the streets. The fashion started in the streets. The way we talk, the lingo, it starts in the street. The sauce, the whole concept of how we get down, that shit started in the streets. And if it was truly code and honor amongst the streets, everybody would be successful. Period, point blanks. Period, point blank. And I'm just be 100 on that. So I can't say what every one of these cats gonna do. Because in my mind, if you go testify on the people that killed your family, I'm not calling you no snitch. What does that mean? Because, some people say, well, you're a cooperating witness and you a snitch. Hey, man, call me whatever you want to call me. I don't give a fuck about no rap career. I don't give a shit about no career. I'm going to stand on what I feel is real and what's right. We back at this shit. We always talking about some snitching shit. And then we like, it's so real. It's so real. Who going to stand on, nigga, stop killing me? Stop killing people that look like me. When we gonna stand on that? I don't give a fuck about no snitching shit, man. And I ain't never even said this like this because it's to the point now I'm really thinking like, we standing on the wrong shit. No snitching. What about no killing? Why are we killing each other every day? Why is we robbing each other every day? Why are we sabotaging our own communities every day? Don't talk to me about no snitching. Cause y'all ain't standing on shit for real. Oh, snitch, we We ain't hearing none of that. What about we ain't hearing nobody coming in our communities and fucking our communities up? Huh? All this no snitching. What about y'all standing up to the police when they handling shit the wrong way? I ain't hearing none of that. I hear all this no snitch. Oh, it's snitch. Yeah, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You can't stand on this bullshit, but you won't stand up for what's real. You don't care about the innocent lives that's taken every day in our community. You don't care about these kids. You don't care about these women. You don't care about the men, the supposed to be the backbone of our community, the pillars of our community. You don't care about that. Niggas could die every day. Niggas die every day, B. But you care about who tell on the people. What you saying? It shouldn't matter. If I don't care about y'all killing up my community, if I don't care about y'all niggas hating everything about us, what the fuck I care about you telling on it for? I don't get it. I don't get it. You standing on the wrong shit. Any man, gangster, king, whatever you want to be called, whatever, you can contest me on that. You can't say you stand on no snitching, but you ain't gonna stand on for what's right. What you mean? You can't tell on the people in your community or the people who have wronged you and wronged us continue to plague your own where you lay your head. My kids can't even be outside. My kids can't even sleep peacefully at night. Cause these niggas want to spin the block, do drive-by, these niggas got switches. Like, look at what's happening. Niggas don't gotta jump out with no chopper. Niggas got handguns that got a 100-round clip and it's a machine gun. Niggas ain't making these devices. Who owned the patent to the switch? It ain't no nigga that look like me and you. But it's cool for you to kill up our block, spin the block, and call everybody that look like me and you ops and kill, destroy. That's cool. Ain't nobody standing against that shit, but everybody want to say, I pledge allegiance to no snitching. Man, fuck y'all niggas, man. I'm over this shit. I'm grown in real life. I don't give a fuck about no career. I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. I think I've proven that shit over and over again. But y'all niggas got it wrong. We talking about no snitching. What about, I can't let you come in my neighborhood and run it down, bro. Nah, you can't sell that shit. These kids over here overdosing. Bro, you stand across the street selling fucking Percocet pills across the street from the middle school, dog. Your trap set up right here. Why niggas ain't standing on that? You know how many caskets out of hell, bro? You know how many caskets out of hell? Me. I got it better yet. Do you know how many caskets I've held as a young jock? I'll say that. I ain't talking about my whole life. I'm talking about as me being me, how many caskets I done held since I've been on as an artist. How many times I done had to go to a funeral, and you know the hardest thing for me at a funeral, and I feel so bad every time I say this line, because in a couple grand I said, at the wake, give his mama dead flowers. That is the worst, coldest, harshest shit that I've ever mustered up the energy to say, my nigga. That's the coldest shit I ever said. And I ain't saying it like the wow shit was a cold line. It was a bar. But it was one of the most destructive bars I could have ever said, because you know what? As I'm sitting here telling you how many fucking funerals I done been to and how many caskets I done held, the hardest part of the funeral for me was not seeing that body in the casket. It was always having to turn to that left side and see the mama or the kids. And I gotta hug this person. And when I hug this person, I keep saying, it's gonna be all right. When? When is it gonna be all right? When? Why we keep saying that? Why I gotta keep saying they in a better place? No, they not in a better place. Man got kids. This woman got kids. People got family. These people got. What you mean a better place than them being here with their family? We talking about a place we think exists? I don't want to hear nothing about
real.
no snitching, man.
That is so real.
Niggas gotta wake up and be grown. All this old, the hood, some of us is all we know. But if you're willing to expose yourself to something a little more fulfilling than the bullshit that come out the streets, we can get some better results and better outcomes, because I'm tired of talking about no snitching. That's one of the biggest things that come up in our community. Why are we talking about who not gonna tell? Why? If it's such a big thing that we don't tell on people, the yield is coming from the dirt niggas doing. I'm out for it. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the deal, right? I think it is the dumbest thing. I mean, it is bananas to think that this man could, would, or should care about his rap career.
Like, why is that a conversation?
When he watched, like literally watched,
you get what I'm saying?
His nephew take his last breath.
You get what I'm saying?
It ain't like he heard it.
Yeah,
he
man.
watched it.
Like, why is that shit even a conversation, dog? And I'm not saying like, because I don't want 600 to think I'm saying why he talking about it. No, this is real shit that we have to talk about because it happens. But my why is it a conversation means, why are we so caught up in so we don't care about the destruction that's happening amongst us. The death toll that's rising every day at an alarming rate. Women, men, children expiring, perishing prematurely. We ain't worried about that. We don't care how many niggas die a day. We don't give a fuck about how many niggas die a day. Fuck all that shit. Nigga die. Babies die, niggas just die in the street, die. But we concerned, we want to come to the table like we men amongst men and the kings of our castles. And when you start talking about snitching, you are now condemned from the, man, get the fuck out of here. Niggas get to talking that snitching talk, I just sit back and be like, I don't hear that shit. Because you ain't talking about shit. You ain't talking about shit. If this nigga got 17 bodies, get that nigga off the street. Fuck is you talking about? Somebody come tell on this nigga. Now see that right there. When I say that, that's gonna be right. See, I'm gonna make somebody mad with that. Somebody, bro, you a snitch. We know you a snitch. It's some gangsters. It's some real niggas who gonna be mad at that. They're gonna be mad at that and won't even support everything I just said before I said that. Cause somebody gonna take just that and they're gonna sensationalize that. They're gonna push the narrative of snitching and condemning me for saying that. But nobody gonna push this thing of me saying, when are we gonna care about the quality of life amongst us? Nobody care about that shit. Ain't important. Fuck who died. But we gotta stand on who tell on who did it. Like, y'all niggas crazy, man. Get the fuck away from me. That's why I don't be out like that. I don't even be out around niggas like that unless I'm doing shows. And even then, I be like, damn. Is my killer here tonight? Like, I don't want to feel like that, bro. I ain't even lie. I don't want to feel like that. Look at the news, man.
Well, speaking of killers, Eric Holder sentenced to 60 years for killing Nipsey Hussle. 60 years. Boosie essentially said, yo, I hope Crips stab him, kill him on the inside. I had an opportunity personally to sit down with Bosco. And Sko was like, yo, you know something? It's a lot of rolling 60 dudes who understand them two dudes was from the same hood. And they feel like Eric Holder was kind of in the right. He did what he was supposed to do. They get the angle that he came from when Nipsey allegedly said he was snitching. Or the word is on the streets that he was snitching. He should take care of that.
They from the same hood, and a lot of people don't know the inner workings of the hood and how shit go. A lot of shit go, but everybody ain't, it's not finna be everybody. Like, I know you got your Nipsey fans out here and they want to see, they think shit's supposed to go a certain way, but obviously in the gang world, a lot of the gang, like, they not gonna jump on the internet and say it, but a lot of the niggas from his own hood, they gonna feel like Eric Holder was in the right and he did what he was supposed to do. As a gangster, as a street nigga, you know what I mean? As a street nigga, he really did what he was supposed to do. Now, on the flip side, the family and the friends and the fans, they feel like, you know, fuck this nigga. But as far as the gang go, it's gonna always be split, because you're gonna have some niggas that feel like he shouldn't have did that, and then you're gonna have the other side of niggas that feel like he did what he was supposed to do. So it's always gonna be a political clash right there. But I don't think, honestly, like, I don't think he gonna really, like, I don't think the Crips really gonna do nothing to him. Like, just I think he more wrong in the fans' eyes than he is in the gang's eyes, honestly.
So it's some interesting perspectives around this whole conversation, and you just gave your thoughts on it and made it very clear where you stand.
This is what divisiveness looks like. Using right from wrong to judge a man. And the right from wrong is if he tell or don't tell. See, right now we'll talk about the oppressed mothers and all the toy drives we doing for these fatherless homes or parentless homes, right? And how the street's so fucked up and sad. And we'll glorify a man walking away from his family for not telling the truth, whether he in the wrong or the right. We're gonna glorify that. He gonna take his time like a man and not be able to provide or raise his kids, his family, or be there for that. And it's a cycle. Look at the cycle. Like, we like to say all other communities and other systems are set in place to keep us oppressed. We perpetuate our own cycles of oppression. So I'm not gonna get on that again. Like I said, I don't wanna talk about nothing about no snitching. That shit don't move me. That shit don't move me. And I have to conquer that whole mindset of that shit, because people die behind this type shit. People die every day behind this type shit. You know what I'm saying? See, as you see what you're saying, it came out that Nip basically said in front to that man that you can't be around here because it's out here you snitching. And so they saying the man came back and offed him because you can't be putting out here that a nigga snitching. So I gotta stop you from spreading a lie. Whatever. Hey, I don't fucking know. But guess what? I don't want to get caught up in the senseless acts that follow snitching. It is what it is, bruh. People gonna tell. Everybody can't do their time. People gonna tell. That's why we keep acting like we so surprised when somebody, oh, he told? Man, I can't believe it. Well, if it get to the point where he already fighting for his life, he ain't got shit. You know, when you hear a man say, I ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't got nothing to lose. Just think of that. How many cats you know heard say, bro, I ain't got shit to lose. I need to disassociate with you immediately. Pray for you, ask God to become your salvation and get you some fucking help. Because if you could talk to me and look me square in my eye and say, you ain't got nothing to lose, I don't need to be in your presence. Unless I'm about to be a shepherd and try to take you into the guiding light, into the bosom of the Lord and find you salvation, nigga. If I ain't finna do that, if I'm not finna be a shepherd and I'm not finna be your pastor or a deacon who gonna walk you into a church to somebody, I don't need to be around you. Cause ain't nothing I can do for you at this point if I'm not finna be willing to help you. Cause me just being around you and you ain't got nothing to lose, that's a fucked up mindset. Again, I'm gonna keep my answer short, man. I be going all off on tangents because I think people could see that by now through my interviews that I am passionate about this shit. This is a new thing for our community to where we are so open with these platforms such as podcasts and things of that. And I'm very appreciative and thank you and honored to be able to stand on these platforms and stand on my square and say what I believe in my heart as far as what's right and what's wrong, or whether it just be my opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm tired of us pointing the finger at other communities and the systemic things that they say keep us down when we ourselves keep pushing certain narratives that are guaranteed. I mean, it's like you can write it down almost like, hey, going fishing, bait, okay? You put a worm on the hook or you use some type of bait, but either way, that shit got a hook on it. When they bite on that bitch, we caught, we snatch your ass out the water. It's the same way this shit go on the streets. You do this, that happen. When you do that, this happen, they come kill you or they come rob you, they come set you up, you go to jail or you go underground. Or you walk away and do this. Or instead of getting into that, you go to school, you go here, graduate, you go here, get you a, you know, it's how you look at it. I'm just tired of us pushing the bullshit, bro. I'm for real, I mean.
Understood. And I second every word that you said. God knows I do. Yo, I want to get your thoughts on this. French Montana.
Mm-hmm.
He was sued over that video shoot in Miami Beach. Something like a dozen people were shot, 6 people taken to the hospital, 1 man paralyzed from the waist down. But the shooting had nothing to do with him, but he's being sued. Do you think it's right that entertainers, because I was about to say rappers, but let's say entertainers, should be held liable, should be able to be sued for stuff that really didn't have anything to do with them? I'm here shooting a video. It's no different than
Let me ask you a question. When he was shooting this video, did he have a permit to shoot this video?
I don't believe he did.
And I'm not saying that's an angle. What I'm saying is, when you start to do things in the public that manipulates the amount of foot traffic, the amount of mobile traffic, the amount of pedestrians, the amount of media, you got to be aware. Like, it's just like knowing, like if I walk into a mall, depending on my status, it's like right now, if Drake walks in a mall and a child gets stampeded, is Drake in the wrong?
I'm very surprised to hear you say where I think you going with this, because you're a celebrity.
But I'm asking you. We're not asking my opinion. I know you asked my opinion, but I want to make sure I set some things.
I don't believe Drake would be in the wrong for walking in the mall.
Now, if you are consciously aware that when I walk into this space, I'm gonna create pandemonium and wreak havoc. So when shit pop off when I walk in there, I could be blamed for it. When you're consciously aware of that, are you in the wrong when you walk in there anyway?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I just want to know. So when I say what I'm about to say, in French's case, yes, I hate that for him. I do. I mean, I owned a nightclub. Somebody got into a shootout way on the other end of the parking lot with high-powered assault rifles. And them shits was hitting our cars in front of my club. So we had to call the police. Hey, man, some of these people called won't crank up. Somebody called probably total because it looked like them bullets went through the engine block type shit. They blamed that on me. I said, that don't have nothing to do with me. That's not right. They blame that on me. So I understand what you're saying. I was just asking a question because the law is not necessarily based on what we think is fair. You kind of get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. I do, but I'm trying to see where you're going with this.
So where I'm going with this is when you don't protect yourself, that's what insurances are for. When you're not protected from certain things, whether you know or not, it falls on you. Because let's say he was shooting video, he got all the permits. Does he have enough security there? How many people, what type of crowd are you expecting to draw a crowd? No crowd? Okay, well, guess what? People will drive by and they will see. People will stop, people will pull over, pedestrians will begin to gather, people will begin to loiter, you know. Do you have enough security? Do you have enough law enforcement present to keep the people and yourself protected? That's how the law gonna work.
I hear every word you say.
But that's how the law gonna work.
I understand how the law gonna work. And it don't mean that all laws are fair. Now, if this was Travis Scott doing that show, I believe it was Houston, and there was a stampede, a bunch of people lost their lives, I could understand, first and foremost, he's up there, he's doing his job. I don't own the venue. I don't. I get paid as a performer.
The venue has insurance.
But let me just make my point. To what you were saying, if there was a lack of security, if the venue failed in some way to make sure that the concert goers were safe in the event that it wasn't, I can understand the venue being sued. I still have a hard time understanding why the artist who was on that stage, I was paid to do a job. I showed up. I don't hire security for the venue.
Well, one thing about humans, I always say this, we are taught to be problem solvers. That's why even if we don't find the person who really caused this, we need someone to blame. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is why the insurance companies that are set in place in the situation with Travis Scott, they got to pay for that. Travis Scott not gonna come out of his pocket. Now he not gonna, he probably didn't, but he wouldn't have to come out of his pocket. But being that he wanted to make things right, I'm sure he probably did spend extra money on PR. He probably did ask, can he send the family something to just on behalf of his condolences and him and whoever he's a part of, but they're not gonna sue his pocket, his actual pockets. He's gonna be protected. In this case with French Montana, who are they suing? Him? Are they suing his label? Are they suing the production company who's shooting the video? Who's getting sued?
I'm sure they suing all the above.
But what I'm saying is, had he had everything in place,
he would have still got sued. He would, because it's human nature.
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
Sue.
If he'd had enough law enforcement in place, shootout probably wouldn't have taken place. That's the part I'm talking about. No. That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part I'm talking about. See, if you're doing something guerrilla, and I'm not saying he was. We know French got a bag. We know he do shit up on the up and up. We know that. But sometimes niggas still do shit guerrilla. Yeah, I'm gonna jump out right here and get me some scenes. Let's pull the car right here. We done scoped it out like, yeah, I want to shoot right there. You following the director and the producer. And we get here and we like, shit, all right, bet. And the crowd, come on, then you like, well, shit, we'll finish this and we'll go. Some shit jump off. You didn't necessarily cause the jump off, but you created the gathering.
Nah, Jock, I don't agree with you on this one. And I'm gonna tell you, look, you where stuff pop off, you can't I can't begin to understand why people do the things that they do.
Would you throw your child's birthday party in the middle of the project? If you don't live in the project, let me just answer that. Would you throw your daughter or son, a 5-year-old child, a party in the projects if you don't live there?
Not if I don't live
You
there.
want
But
you
people
wouldn't, would you?
throw-
And if you
but
did,
people-
you would make sure that everything is set up properly to make sure you keep your people safe. That's all I want to know.
No, because you ain't letting me get my point out.
I want you to,
but yes,
but
to
that's all
answer
I
your
want- so I-
question,
so
to
I
answer
hear
your
clearly.
question, yes, yes.
Okay, I won't say nothing else. That's all I want to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Me and you spoke earlier, and this is what I'm saying. I can't begin to understand why people think the way they think, what goes through a man's mind before he makes a decision that will not only change his life, but will change everybody else's life that's involved. We talked about XXXtentacion,
Yes.
that case earlier. Them dudes knew they was on camera. They knew they was on camera, and they still chose to go and commit armed robbery, to go and commit murder, knowing it's a damn good chance that the money we stole, we ain't even gonna be on the streets long enough to spend it. So when you're saying a crowd gathering, I can agree with you that there might be a stampede. I can agree with you things might get out of hand, but where people pop off, that can go down in a police precinct.
It can. But if you created that gathering, that's how the law gonna look at it. I hear everything you saying. I'm with you. But
No, I know how the old law is gonna say, look at it.
If you create a gathering, is it your job to protect the gathering that you create?
I would say yes. And you made your point earlier when you asked me, did he have permits? Enough said.
And I don't know if he did or didn't.
No, I don't think he did. I think they was doing it like a lot of rappers do it.
Conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't want to look like, man, French was wrong. I mean, come on. We know how this shit works.
Correct.
I've done it. I've jumped out and set up some shit.
No, we've all done it.
And
we
it went
get it.
all bad. All bad. I've done it. Nobody got shot and killed. I didn't get sued. But when I think about these two incidents in my timeline, I sit back and think like, damn, boy, that shit would have, because when I hear a situation like this, I'm like, shit, I was in the same situation. Shit just didn't pop off because it was these girls and it just kind of smoothed over, but it really was, I just did some shit without getting my proper licenses and certificates in place. I'm just being for real.
I want to get your thoughts on something. And we've been having very, very serious and sometimes even dark discussions today. It's a different tone in here.
Yeah.
Than we normally have.
Yeah.
But let's lighten this thing up.
All right.
DJ Envy, good friend of mine, good friend of yours. Shout to Envy. Him and Ebro, another good friend. They both feel 50 Cent would win a Verzuz battle against Lil Wayne. Where you stand with that?
Hell no. Hell no. Nah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And
Just that simple.
I'm a 50 fan. Mm-mm. Wayne been around way longer. Wayne on way more hits. Crazy. Way more hits. Way more. Spell it. Way. W-A-Y. Mo. M-O. Way more hits. Now 50, it would be a good Verzuz. It ain't like Wayne just gonna slaughter 50, cause 50 gonna hit your ass with 21 records by itself. Just, god damn, 50 do got a lot of hits. Shit. But Weezy, Wayne, Lil Dwayne, Carter, shot himself in the chest when he was a kid. Boy, you crazy. It'll be a good one though. Cause 50 ain't no slouch. We know Wayne ain't.
Nah, he not a. And you know what I like about both of them? But I'm sure you remember when Wayne was on his tear and he was dropping mixtapes. He was doing features. He was putting out albums left and right. I mean, this boy been doing it since what? He's like 12 years old or some craziness like that. But 50 is another one. Before he ever made it big, he's a mixtape dude. He's on countless numbers of features. That would be a damn good battle. Damn good battle.
Yeah, but it seemed
see
like Wayne jumped on a lot of records that he wanted to be on and he was paid to be on. 50 don't seem like the type who was jumping on records that he just wanted to be on. 50 seemed like
No. You got it wrong. I'm from NY.
Come on, 50, son.
50 was jumping on records he just wanted to be on.
Word,
son. All right, yo.
I you know what? It was just my opinion. Hell, I don't know. I ain't never seen the 50 Cent contract or Lil Wayne contract. I'm just talking about, how this shit go. This what keeps it moving. This what keeps the needle moving. People sharing their opinions. I don't fucking know who will win in the verses, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, I know Wayne got a whole lot of records that I like. 50 Cent got a whole lot of records that I like.
Yeah, he do. All right, speaking of opinions, the legendary Melle Mel, he offered his opinion. Everybody been talking about that top 50 rappers list that Billboard magazine put out. And Melle Mel, the Godfather, he said he does not think Eminem would have made the top 5 if he wasn't a white rapper. I don't know about that one. I mean, Fat Joe and Papoose, both of them disagree with him. He's a legend, but I'm going to put my opinion out there. Yo, M is a beast, man. I don't care whether he white, black, or Gumby green. That dude is serious on the mic.
Let's just be for real. Okay. We start bringing in colorism and all this shit in it, and there could be some validity in there somewhere, but you can't negate the validity of Home is a beast at what he do. Now, I've seen people get on the platform and say, when last time you seen nigga jump in the car and talking about put that Eminem on? It's some places like that. Just because the hood may not have been like, well, put that M on. It's countries. It's places where people are like, put that M on. Put that M on. They want to hear that shit. And that man was dominating radios, he was dominating features. Like the man was doing what he came to do. Now, I'm not finna get caught up in nobody's top 50 list. To be honest with you, fuck that list. And the reason I say fuck the list because everybody's got their own list that they feel is the right list. I can get 1,000 people, and 1,000 people, somebody gonna actually have to give up some space for people just because they want to be like, you right, or I agree. But everybody lists different. Everybody lists different. Because if you're from the West Coast, your list way different. You from the East, hell, just being from the East and the South, the list gonna be different. Hell, if you just take the South, everybody's list gonna be different. The Midwest, their list gonna be different. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta talk about from what time to what time with that shit. Cause right now, you don't realize it, but yo, little baby right now could be, our little baby could be the Pac of today.
Yeah.
And somebody be like, no, Pac will. But I'm saying, listen, you may feel like this. At this moment, it's a kid who don't know shit about no Tupac. He know his name because we've kept his name alive. But it's a kid be like, yeah, Tupac is cool, but he ain't saying that shit little baby saying. I don't see him. I don't know him. I hear you. I can even listen to the music. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But it don't sound like, he ain't talking about nothing what I know of. So the list gonna change every day.
Yeah, I mean,
gonna change every day.
you know, here's one thing I think we can all agree with. No matter what color that boy is, this thing called hip hop, lyrics, rapping, he do that thing, man. You got to give him his credit.
Yeah.
And I don't work with some of the best to ever touch a mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I put him up there. I don't care what color he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Drake. He said this June, he's looking for Happy Father's Day cards and wishes because he been birthing so many artists that are out right now. You think you got a point on that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's helped a lot of cats sustain their heat. He done helped heat a lot of cats up. He ain't doing, I mean, let's be for real, man. It's the antics. That's the same shit Gucci said. Gucci said this a few years ago. These my kids. The Migos, the Lil Babies, the Young Thugs, the 21 Savages. Gucci said them were his kids.
You think they should wish him a Happy Father's Day in June? Yo, that Drake is a wild boy. Drake said, yo, I'm looking for Happy Father's Day wishes come June.
Well, at the end of the day, he is a father.
I don't think he was talking about Adonis. He talking about all the little dudes he
Let me
gave
ask you a
birth to.
question. Let me ask you a question. This is no disrespect, no shade. You're an older guy, but you're very much involved when it comes to what we call as the culture in hip hop. If Drake had not put Dirk on that record, Dirk was already Dirk. I'm gonna keep it 100. Dirk was popping. I mean, Dirk was doing what he do. But it wasn't until, I'm not gonna say what it was. To me and other people that I've heard have this conversation, it felt like when Drake put Dirkio on that damn record, everybody was like, oh, I guess he must be the one up next. It was kind of like, damn. Like, oh. And it seemed...
No. Come on, man.
Come on, what?
Like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It wasn't like Dirk wasn't doing this thing.
Right,
And it wasn't like Dirk probably wouldn't have got to the promised land at some point.
Right.
But the world took notice.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go, you from Atlanta. Shout to P and Coach K and all that they done. But let's just keep the Migos, they lives changed when Drake jumped on that Versace joint.
Yeah, but see, with that, and speaking on that, they didn't come up trying to do what Drake was doing. Right?
No, I'm talking about the spotlight.
But Gucci handed them off. Them niggas is on that they might not rap like Gucci, but they was talking about that kind of shit Gucci was on, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
When Drake jumped on that Versace, oh, yes, sir. That was like, oh, these niggas out of here. You don't believe that?
I believe that the defining moment for the Migos was when Childish Gambino went up to accept his award. I think it was an Emmy. And he said,
they had already got put on. You off on that one. That's after they done blew, kid.
Listen.
When he said that, they went to another level. When he said, I want to thank the Migos for making Bad and Bougie, the next day, and they said it. The next day, their streams went to the roof, and after that, they was household name.
Okay,
But
listen.
they had...
Listen. We did not say that Versace was their biggest record to date. The Versace record stamped them to be like, oh shit. And we watched them grow. Now, when Childish Gambino came out and said that about Bad and Bougie, when Accepting This World, what was he accepting this world for? Atlanta? The movie, the show?
Yeah.
Whatever. When he said that and their streams went up, yeah, because there's a bunch of people who might not have really understood how important these boys were to the culture until somebody because you gotta think, here's the thing. It's people that look at the culture. They see the culture, they know the culture is powerful. But it's somebody from the culture that stand up and be like, hey, y'all wanna come hang out? I mean, yeah, we kind of watch it. No, come on. They're me. They love me. Follow me in. I got y'all. And then they say, okay. And they walk in with somebody. I'm like, oh, shit. Now we're hip. That's where the whole quote-unquote household name part came from. Because on that platform was not there about the Migos. It wasn't about music. But he took his moment in the light, in the spotlight. That was a defining moment to say who he was also. It said that I am willing to share my success at this moment with somebody else. That's what he did. So he did this amazing gesture, this act of camaraderie. And in that process, he said, hey, rest of the world that's watching this for this, I want to say thank you to this. While y'all looking at me, I want y'all to focus on this, because this right here actually probably gives me some motivation and inspiration. In case y'all asking where it come from, it's cats like the Migos who made songs like Bad and Bougie. That's all I was saying.
Correct.
So I feel, bro, where he come from. But at the end of the day, that's why I said I named them with the Gucci era and not with the Drake era. And again, I don't want no smoke with nobody. We all know who Dirk was. We know who Dirk was. Like, boy, Dirk growing, bro. Dirk out here, boy. He was up. It was up. But when he got on that big ass record with Drake, niggas was like, shit, Dirk out of here. And he was. He even said it.
I don't even think it's a bad thing. Like, here's the deal, right? There's these X factors that happen in all of our life.
Right.
You know, a lot of times you can't even predict them. You can't manufacture them. It ain't taking nothing away from Dirk. It ain't taking nothing away from Migos. It ain't they would have probably got to the finish line. They would have. They got the talent. They would have got to the finish line irregardless. But to get that cosign, to get the eyeballs from somebody saying, oh, if he mess with you, then I need to give you a second, third, and fourth listen because you got to be dope. That's all we saying here. And I don't think it's a disrespect to nobody. And I think
but you still have to, listen, man. It's too many times shit pop off and people don't understand that you paying homage or that you giving them their flowers. Sometimes it's all in your delivery. You ever try to give somebody a compliment? You ever try to give somebody a compliment and they don't know if it's shade or not? So they come at you like, what the fuck you on? And you like, bro, I was just saying I rock with what you, don't even, you keep that to yourself. Cause they don't know where you coming from. Sometimes you just don't know. And it's okay to give a disclaimer if it's no shade. I don't care. Some people say, well, if you gotta say no shade, then it must be shade. No, cause everybody ain't gonna see it the way you see it. 21 Savage, he been popping. We from the same soil. Well, we represent the same Atlanta, okay? But when him and Drake just teamed up, why them people started saying he the hottest rapper of 2022? Didn't they say that? The best rapper 2022. You got people saying all kinds of things. Hey man, this man don't work his ass off. He deserve his accolades. He deserve his flowers. But they ain't started saying that shit till after Drake locked in.
That's right.
Not saying 21 wasn't making no mean ass records. He was making some records, monsters. But when he just locked in, matter of fact, I'm just listening, and the new record just dropped with the sample. The new shit they got him and Drake. It's in heavy rotation right now. Them boys ain't bullshitting. So, happy Father's Day, Drake, in advance.
Okay, yo, you, and again, sometimes you're giving people their flowers and it can be taken the wrong way. This, I'm gonna try to word it because I don't want to misquote what you said and ruffle some feathers here. But essentially, in that interview you did, I believe it was with the same Math Hoffa interview, you said that Diddy excels over JD, Puff excels over JD as it pertains to being a mogul. He just understands how to get to the next level. He really does understand marketing. And I don't think too many people would disagree with you on that.
I mean, it's what it is. Like, let's say, for example, if you could successfully pop off 4 to 5 unknown acts or individuals, you could damn near be called a mogul. Like, that's just what it is. You done put out. When you take JD spread, the people that were signed, when you say So Def, when you say Bad Boy, Puff had more artists. And in the process of his artists being artists, he never let his artistry die. So he kept his artistry alive with them. You kind of get what I'm saying? Which gave him longer staying power and more influence. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yep, I'm with you.
Like perfect example. Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre popped off a lot of people, right? Produced a lot of records, right? But would Dr. Dre be the Dr. Dre we know if he didn't put out, what was that, Still Dre? Dre, the Chronic.
Chronic 2001.
Let's say he didn't rap on none of them records. Let's say he extracted himself from them records that he put out. Would he still be the same Dre we know? He wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't. No, he probably wouldn't.
He would still be rich. I mean, he done produce some mega hits, but then we don't know. Because had he not put himself in a position to work that artistry side of things, then some other things that have taken place may not have taken place for him. It's about positioning yourself. I mean, JD like that cool cousin you got. He like that cool cousin you got, and he know he got it, but he ain't just gotta pop his shit at all times, right? Puff is like that cool uncle who popping his shit at all times because he know he got it and he know you know he got it. See what I'm saying? JD didn't keep putting out records of him rapping. JD was like, oh, I get it. I'll pop out when I want to, but I can see I can go get this bigger bag being this producer because I'm getting half of the fucking song. And I write too. So imagine if I can get 90% of a record that's the biggest record at this moment, opposed to me being an artist and I'm only getting a percentage of it, or they signed to me and I'm an artist. So you gotta think, like, I'm not saying that Puff is just bigger than JD. I'm saying as far as when it comes to the recognition of Diddy, he pushed himself out there way further as an artist. When you seen Diddy run when he did that marathon, that would make people say, well, what is he trying to do? Because he appears to have everything in the world. What else does he want? He wants to be known as a long distance runner? What is he doing? He was showing you what marketing looks like. I'm not gonna be just put in a category. I'm not gonna be typecasted. I'm gonna go, not only am I gonna reap the benefits of looking like someone who is running for a cause, I'm gonna go be healthy. And then I'm gonna drop this shit with him and what was that? What's your girl? Keisha Cole.
With that last night joint?
It's like right when he ran that marathon and that came out, he was in the best shape of his life. He was like, woo, way to go, 5th win. Because he done had some first, some second, some thirds, and some 4th wins. Because he's constantly churning.
But that's the difference. I'm going to tell you, Jock, that's the difference. we talking mogul talk, right?
Yeah.
And you can be considered a mogul. I would consider L.A. Reid a mogul, Clive Davis a mogul. But here's the difference. Just like JD, Puff is an artist. He's a producer. JD's going on to produce television, hit television shows. But when you talk about Diddy, you have to include Deshaun Johns and what that meant at one point in time to the world, not just hip hop, but to fashion. How Sean John, when everybody was super baggy, that was hip hop couture, damn near. You have to include Ciroc Vodka.
Mm-hmm.
You have to include De Leon and Revolt TV. You can hit it out the park once. You can be successful in one area of life. But to consistently lock in and build big businesses that really are in different, they merge, but they're in different industries.
Correct.
And to be uber successful in so many of them, that you got to give him his flowers. No matter what you think about this man, Puff need to lose some weight right now. But no matter what you think about him, you got to give that man his flowers.
I always have and I always do, man. I ain't gonna even lie to you. At the end of the day, that's the difference I'm talking about. But some of these things, the reason he's able to take them over the top, understanding the marketing, consumers beg you to lead them. Consumers beg to be led. Now you take that concept and think about it. It's not too many times someone has walked into a party with a liquor that you ain't never heard of, and you drank it and say, this finna be my new liquor of choice. And you went out and told people you drank it, and suddenly everybody's drinking that liquor, right? That don't happen often, does it? It don't happen often. But when an artist say, this is what's popping, this is what the ballers is balling with, we go and consume that. Sometimes we don't know. I remember hearing Jay-Z talking about Hermes and Birkin, and even trying to go back and rap my own raps and putting that shit in my raps, and I don't even know what the fuck it looked like. I ain't even seen that shit. I seen one shirt in the video that he was wearing, and I don't even know if it was that. So, the branding influential part of it all, the marketing one-on-one that comes of it, that's him. That's why I said him being behind the scenes is one thing. But when I'm on the front and I could be that front line stepper, you gotta be a stepper. When you a stepper with it, Diddy's Love, whatever you go, Sean, Puff, my boy is a stepper. So when he knows stay hot in front of the camera, in front of the lens, keep the artistry alive, that allows me to move brands. And when I can brand, I can land the big dollars. That's just what it is, bro. That's what it is. And that's why, I feel like Diddy supersedes a JD in a sense. I'm not saying he's accomplished more. I'm not saying he's accomplished less. But it's noticeably a difference, and that's okay. At the end of the day, I fuck with JD. I fuck with Diddy. I love the level of confidence and excitement JD bringing to this whole thing when we talking about it. I love that. If you ain't gonna do it for you, who gonna do it for you? So salute to both of them.
Nah, JD, since I was young coming up in this game, he always been the same JD. And it's something when you have somebody, I remember when I realized JD even knew my name, like when I was a young dude coming up. That was the kind of love he always gave back. Because JD, he was rich back, like all the way rich back then. So shout to him and all that he's done for the culture. Before I let you out of here, Jock, the baby dropped a new joint. You get a chance to check it out?
Which one?
Got your name in the title. Jock in 06.
Yeah. I thought it was dope. I thought that was dope. I you know what, as a man, I appreciate that because me and bro never had a exchange of any kind. And you know, when you never had an exchange with someone and they come out and clearly kind of like give you your flowers or pay homage in a sense, it's like, yeah, that was cool. I admired that. And then as I'm sitting here, people are like, what you gonna do? I'm like, well, bro got his kids in the song. Like, I love the whole concept of what he did. It just because he said my name don't mean I gotta go jump in the record, right? Then I look up now and Guwap got the new 06 Gucci back. The new album, the new record, the project he coming with. And I think he got, is it the Baby and Lil Baby on the record? I don't know, but it's 06 Gucci. Just like bro said, 06 Jock. And he probably saw that and was like, shit, that's when I was really going crazy. Gucci probably said, I was going crazy in 06. Shit, you want to talk about 06? Well, I'm the man to talk about 06, you know what I'm saying? And that's what marketing looks like. That's what marketing looks like. So Gucci even taking that route and even bringing him in to it's like, you know what? And I'm not saying that one had nothing to do with the other, but I'm just saying that's why certain people are able to sustain. When they see the whole, they know the right plays to run. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to them boys, man. Shouts out to the cats who ain't scared to try. Shouts out to the cats who ain't scared to show love, pay homage, give flowers, all the above, man. I appreciate it all, man.
Well, Jock, it has been my pleasure, brother. It really has. This has been a dope conversation as always. You dropped so many jewels that I hope people really pay attention to. Not just act off emotion, but listen to the words. Listen to what inspires you to say so many of the things that you actually said. I think it's going to affect so many people in a positive way. And I appreciate, as always, I told you at the top of this interview, man, your insight, your perspective is so respected in this industry, man. And I'm happy to be sitting on the other side of the table having this dialogue with you from time to time.
Man, I appreciate it.
Continue blessings, kid.
I appreciate that, man. Thank y'all, man. Thank you, bro, for being as passionate as you are and dealing with my long-winded ass. Because you got to have a certain level of understanding in that exchange with somebody as long-winded as myself. But I do want to say this, man. Shouts out to the cats who ain't scared to just tell the truth and just give it up for people that you respect. Man, let me tell you something. Since I've been doing this Vlad podcast, bro, since I've been doing this platform, I've had more people, just the honest to God truth, walk up to me and just say, bro, I respect what you be saying on Vlad. I'm like, I appreciate it. Some people get right to the point of what I may have said that moved them, and some people just be like, man, I just be happy when I see your face pop up on the thumbnail, bro. You keep doing that shit, and I be like, damn, appreciate it. Because at the end of the day, I just feel like we're exchanging game, but that's what it's about, man. Each one teach one, and may the best man lead the way.
Continue blessings and much love to you, my brother.
That is.